That bitch said,
Alright. Yes, indeed. Alright, where's my little Google screen here?
Well, get your life together.
Alright, nigga. Is
you
ready?
Put my spaghetti on simmer.
Oh, your spaghetti, huh? That's what's up, man. Welcome, everybody, to the 11th episode of the Socially Conscious St. Louis podcast. I am your host, your king, your God, and you benefactor, nigga. I am every woman's dream and every man's nightmare. I am King David. I am the host and facilitator of this podcast. Well, you know, nigga, if I don't have confidence in myself, then I can't expect nobody else to have confidence in me.
That is accurate.
That is accurate. And since that's accurate, I'm in here with my homegirl who decided to pull my card just now. Critically acclaimed author of the Running Away from God series. Race baiter. Come on. you motherfucking race baiter, nigga.
I'm a race baiter.
Negative, angry black woman, according to Whitey Locks. Rebecca Lovin. What's the word, Becky? What's the word? How you doing today?
I am exhausted. You know, spaghetti take a long time to cook, brother.
I know, nigga. Everything you cook, you can't just cook simple meals. Just throw some pasta, some onions, some garlic, some meat, and be cool and boil a couple noodles, nigga. You gotta go arm and leg.
No,
big arm.
Don't be good, man.
You gotta use that big arm, that big mama. You gotta put that motherfucker in the
what
pipe.
They call it, the auntie
stir it.
Yeah, they. You know, in the hood they say if you don't have you gotta have the auntie arm fat, as they call it.
Nigga,
you ain't got no jiggle behind your arm.
That's that Scott Steiner arm. I don't know if you remember Scott Steiner from WWF or WCW.
You stupid.
He was one of the niggas who was taking steroids. He had them huge ass biceps. That nigga be like, she got one of them Scott Steiner arms. Looked like she could just clothesline the shit out of a nigga. Just be like, bah!
I would hope my arms would never be that big.
Nigga, if your arms ever get that big, I'll be like, Rebecca, we need to have
somebody better pull me to a side halfway through. Don't let me get that bad. Just pull me up to a quick intervention.
No, I don't think Regis would let you get that bad.
No.
Regis would be crying on the inside.
Regis, well, he wouldn't cry on the inside. He would have a problem on the outside.
Boy, hey, every day he gonna keep that heavy bag. He gonna hit that heavy bag just a little bit harder for every pound that you gain. You gain pounds. Here comes nigga Regis. Gain 20 pounds. You be like, damn, nigga, what's your problem?
You don't let it get that bad. I can promise you that. He be like, we need to have a conversation. Typically, how he starts stuff off, we need to have a conversation. You know, you can't just say, hey, can I talk to you? Nope.
To have
a
conversation. Gotta have this conversation. Yeah, man. Yeah, I ain't really do nothing. Not for real. You know, this past weekend, this Saturday was my birthday. You know what I mean? I celebrated by knocking down a 17-hour double action trigger. Did that. You know, I thought about taking off because I'm off Friday and then I'm off Sunday, Monday. And I thought about taking Saturday and I could have me a nice 4-day weekend. But the best present that I could give myself is to get more lawns up and going and back in business. So, ain't no sense of taking off, nigga. Ain't no sense of taking off. But my birthday was cool, man. It was all right. I had Rock Road in the morning. So I posted up with my laptop and then I had Forest Park in the evening, which wasn't as bad. It wasn't bad, you know what I mean? I was kind of ready to go. I almost wish I had responded to my supervisor earlier, which I could have got cross county too, but that's cool. It ain't nothing. Then, you know, Sunday, we kicked off Black History at the church. I just did a little short presentation on the Haitian Revolution. So I showed about 35 minutes of the Tariq Nasheed 1804 movie to the family.
Oh, yeah, how'd that go?
It was good. It was good. You know, when black people learn new stuff, they get real quiet. You know what I mean? Because, see, black people are so afraid to seem dumb and ignorant. Like when they don't know something.
Or like they don't know anything.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't want to seem like they got the wrong answer, so people just get quiet. So you got to tell jokes, and you know you're not gonna get too much input from the young people, but they be listening though. They be paying attention, and then yeah, what's up? So what you learned today? Oh, I learned such. Okay, all right, that's good. I'm glad you learned something. You know what I mean? So the young people. I don't necessarily call them kids because they be like teenagers on down to like, 8, 9, 10. But they be learning stuff though. Just like be paying attention. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
So that was cool. I just put like a little questionnaire together, and since we are a church, I had to throw a couple scriptures in there. Just to prove to you that what the Haitians were doing was not out of pocket. Because the Bible has several scriptures about, grabbing like Jesus say, he say, grab your coin purse, grab your tunic, and, grab your sword or whatever. And then if you don't have a sword, then sell your tunic to buy you one. Protection, It's a verse that says your oppressor will become drunk off of blood and some other stuff, and then you're going to have your day. So the Bible, I'm not going to say the Bible is everything. I'm not going to say it's everything that Christians say it is. I'm not going to say it's everything that conscious people say it is. But depending on the person who is using it, it's no different than a hammer. I could use a hammer to nail a nail, or I could use a hammer to bust somebody upside the fucking head. So again, it's a tool, and just depending on how you use that tool is just depending on how everything goes. So yeah, today, what I do today, I ain't do nothing, just kind of enjoy my off day, since I really didn't get a chance to chill on my birthday. Chill today, just smoked all day, took a couple naps, got a couple movies in, because like I say, man, I've been having them bootlegs sitting on my coffee table for, I know, at least about 2 months. And never got a chance to watch them, like the new Planet of the Apes, the new Chucky, which I was watching, which is pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of crazy. The Cult of Chucky. It was a bunch of other stuff too. I watched this one movie. It's called, what is this movie called? It's called Happy Death Day.
Oh yeah, that's on. It's on demand. I keep forgetting to watch it.
It was actually pretty good.
Like it was her birthday, so she kept waking up and dying, like on her birthday and dying or something on her birthday.
Yeah. She kept repeating the same day over and over again.
And she kept trying not to die. She would just die in different ways or something like that. Yeah,
she's trying to figure out like who's killing her, so she's trying to go down the list, and she keeps dying and she keeps crossing off this list. But every time she dies, she gets weaker. So she knows she only has like so many opportunities in order to find out what the hell's going on. And then she ends up finding out what's going on and blase. And, she ends up becoming a way better person because she was a bit of a douchebag, to say the least. Privileged, arrogant white girl, and, she makes peace with all the people in her life, except for the person that was trying to kill her. Like, can't make no peace with the person who's trying to kill you. But
yeah, by that time it's far too late.
Despite what that black guy thinks, about that white officer who convicted him on some bullshit. Well, he didn't convict him. He planted evidence, and the nigga was sitting like 6 years in jail, and then they came out like, oh, we're best friends. He. Nigga, no.
Yeah.
You frame me, I see you like, it's like that. I'm just saying. Damn sure ain't gonna be no white cop. Nope. Nope.
I didn't watch any. I think I watched Kingsman, the Golden Circle or whatever. The first one came out. It was actually really, really good.
I think I need a better copy.
The one that came out last year, that's the one I got up next to watch is on demand. I'm actually excited to see it because the first one I had never seen the first one.
I don't think
I watched the first one for the first time yesterday. I thought it was fire.
Yeah, I think I need a better copy of the second one. I don't think I've ever watched the first one. But you know, there's a new
Samuel Jackson is a fool.
You know, there's a new what is that? It's a new John Wick movie. I think supposed to be coming out. I think it's supposed to be like John Wick 3. I think so. Then there's some other shit that's going on. The same day Black Panther is being released, a white Caucasoid Samson from the story of Samson and Delilah in the Bible has a movie coming out on the exact same day, and he's just white as can be. Even though everybody in that time were brown-skinned people, because brown-skinned people, melanin can absorb the sun. And then, hold up, and then what makes matters worse. Did you see that video that I tagged you in of this white guy unveiling how King Tutankhamun's mother looked?
Yeah, I saw that. I said, who white mama face did they mask and mold and said this was who, you know? I'm like, they was like, oh, based off of tissue and bone structure, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, yeah, no. I'm like, whose face did y'all mask to get this look? Who face did y'all mask? This don't look nothing like King Tut's mama.
Liz Taylor, is that you, player?
Bruh.
You know she used to play all the old Bible movies. They did a great job as far as masking somebody's face. Did Liz Taylor play Cleopatra?
Man, I mean, the makeup artist did a great job. That's just not, you cannot tell me that based off of facial and bone structure and tissues from King Tut's mama that's what she looks like. You can't get me to believe that. That's what you wanted her to look like, so people can, I guess, stop saying, maybe allegedly, people can stop saying that, you know, King Tut's mom was more brown skinned than white. That's a white woman. I don't know who that is. I don't know who the hell he is. Maybe his cousin that they took and masked her face and threw some makeup on it or something. I don't know.
That is Becky with the good hair.
Man, you hear me?
6,000 years ago.
She'd have been blonde hair with a...
That's Becky with the good hair from 6,000 years ago. What up, Becky? You ain't got no tan or nothing. Hold up. Do you remember Phoenix? I know you remember, nigga. As a wrestling fan, I know you remember when Hulk Hogan left WWF and came to WCW. Like around the mid to late 90s. And he joined NWO, and that nigga looked like one of them overcooked hot dogs on the grill.
I remember that. Stupid.
It is a condition called melanoma. White people can get melanoma. It's basically a sunburn. Their skin cannot physically handle all of the sun's rays. They get sunburned in the wintertime because of all the ultraviolet rays. White people physically cannot live in the desert. Well, they cannot thrive in the desert. They can live in the desert. They cannot thrive in the desert. Their bodies physically cannot handle it. And for you white people to come out and say that King Tut's mama was white. No, King Tut was black. Very black. If you look at his remains, he's very black. He's a brown-skinned brother. He is a brother. Besides, during that time, there's historical evidence that proves there were no white people during that time. Now, there were some weak dynastic periods where what you would know as the modern-day Jews, the Ashkenazi Jews, they're called high school. There were times when there were weak points in Egypt, and they took over southern Egypt for a period. Like southern Egypt being at the top, lower Egypt, like northern Egypt being at the bottom. I know it sounds confusing, but If you read The Destruction of Black Civilization, Chancellor Williams really details it. So it's just like, the Nile doesn't flow north to south. It flows south to north. So in Kemet, northern Kemet was down towards the southern region, like Ethiopia area. And southern Kemet was at the top. So that's Egypt and all of that up there. Yeah, there were a point in time when, the Ice Coast Jews did take over Egypt during the weak dynastic periods, but we eventually got it back. But that's a whole nother story anyway. But yeah, King Tut's mom was black. He was black. His whole lineage is black. Okay? All right. Let's just get that out the way first and foremost. He was African. I know that wasn't really a part of the subject matter, but since it came out today, I think it's good that we had to talk about that. Mine as well. And we got some other very important stuff we got to talk about too, baby. All right, let me see. Where do we want to start? Yes, this Super Bowl. Now, I know you don't really watch football, and neither do I. Besides the fact that I'm not really fucking with football because of Cap, I just don't really have no desire to see a game in which I thought that the Patriots were going to win. Turns out they did not win. They actually lost.
No, they did not.
They lost. But that's not the problem. The problem is that all of your white coworkers, Rebecca.
All of mine, okay.
Yeah, or I should say all of Kevin Hart's white city mates, all of Kevin Hart's Philadelphia white affiliates decided that they were going to go out and riot in the streets in support of the Eagles winning the Super Bowl.
That's one of the dumbest reasons to riot. What was the point?
What was the point? Because that's what white people do when they're excited. They riot. White people get too excited, they riot. Black people riot when there's
a problem or an injustice.
Right. I don't know if y'all looked on my Instagram, y'all, but I just made a post and made a video actually.
I saw it.
And you know what Martin Luther King Jr. said, that rioting is the voice of the unheard. Okay, black people riot out of injustices. We rioted for Michael Brown. You know what I'm saying? We rioted for Freddie Gray in that Baltimore situation. You know what I mean? We riot because we feel like we have no other option, no other outlet but to riot. You see what I'm saying? Therein lies the difference. White people riot over Pumpkin Fest. And if you don't believe me, look it up. I kid you not. White people riot over Pumpkin Fest.
I can believe that. Just a little tidbit. I used to work at Baskin Robbins when I worked 2 jobs when I was going to school. And this white guy, we literally, for whatever reason, thought the world was getting ready to end because it was 2 o'clock in the evening and the sky had turned completely black, like it turned black. Not like it was dark, but the sky turned black. And this guy came in and said, I would like a barrel of pumpkin ice cream. And I said, the first thing I said was, what? He said, yes, I need a barrel of pumpkin ice cream, please. I said, nigga, we finna die. Like, I'm closing the store. I'm closing the store. And like, no. He throws up, oh, no, that'll be fine. I'll just take the barrel of pumpkin ice cream. You know, if I die, whatever. I'm like, shouldn't you call your wife and kids and say, hey, I love you, something? Like, I think we're about to die. He's like, oh, no, they'll be fine. So the fact that you just say that white people rioted for pumpkin fest, I believe that. I believe that. Totally believe
They
it.
ran out of pumpkins and they just like went ham. It was like, we don't have no pumpkins. What the fuck? Ah!
Yep.
Motherfucker turned into a whole episode of Dragon Ball Z. No fucking pumpkins! Oh, let's fucking tear up the city!
Yeah.
Bro.
Oh, it's unfortunate.
And then the police was out there on their horses just watching. Just watching. And I seen the post earlier, and I read a post earlier, and I can't find it, unfortunately, that had somebody had posted the transcripts of all of the police unit calls from their officers in the streets, and it was the dumbest stuff ever. Oh, they got a riot over here. Oh, they're jumping on top of cars. 10:15. They're doing this. How should we proceed? And then somebody in the 5150 group asked, like, well, what is the narrative? And I'm like, well, the narrative is they're a group of rambunctious kids who got excited over a football game. Something like that. But if they were black, they would have been all type of niggas and thugs and Black Lives Matter.
Of course.
Where's the daddy? Where's the mama? Where's the grandmama? Where's the police? Where's Trump? But we wrong if we riot for some actual bullshit. I ain't got no problem with people rioting.
We thugs, and we don't know. We thugs, and we don't know how to appreciate our city, and we don't know how to appreciate what's been given to us. We consistently keep proving that we are grateful niggas.
But who taught us to be ungrateful? Well, excuse me, we're not ungrateful. I'm not going to say that. But who taught us to be destructive? Who taught us not to see value in our lives? All roads lead back to white supremacy.
And I feel like people just say, I hate when people use that cliche and they say, like, what I feel is a cliche, like, oh, just pick yourself up by your bootstraps. I hate that. I hate that term because it almost, to me, and this could just be me having a woman moment. I don't really have many, but to me, I just, I just feel like, to me, I just feel like it dismisses, that statement dismisses everything that happened to us in regards to white supremacy, like how we got here up until now. And I feel like it dismisses all of that. And I feel like it's not a term that should be used because it's not relevant to us. Because it's not that simple. The things that we have been taught as far as how to be, why we don't know who we are. Like I personally feel a huge disconnect as far as like my culture and my ancestry because, you know what I'm saying, like I wasn't taught in my family about who I am, the importance of being black. Why should you have black pride? And why is that important in your life? And why is that important to reach out and share that into the world? You know what I mean? So when people use statements like, oh, well, just pull yourself up by your bootstraps, like don't make it seem like it's just that easy because it's not. That's like you literally have to break the pathology and generational curses in a sense in order to kind of try to make it better. Or all you can do is like if you, hopefully by that time you know who you are and you can get it to your kids. People make it seem like it's just that simple to just get up and do some stuff. And it's not. The whole mindset of who we are and what we know about ourselves has to be stripped away and retaught. And we have to be willing, in my opinion.
Fair enough. I feel that. Well, yes. I could pick myself up by my bootstraps if the bootstraps weren't tied up in goddamn me sailor's knots, and you weren't stepping on the shoes that the laces are attached to. That's all I'm saying. If you left me alone and my people alone, I could very well do what? Pick myself up by my bootstraps. For sure. For sure. But you niggas won't leave us alone because you are afraid of the rise. You are afraid of a black planet. You know what I mean? Fear of a black planet. Public enemy. Think they knew something that we didn't? Yeah. I think so. Because the thing about it is, you can breed your white people out of existence. And white people are actually, how should I say, their birth rate is down. Seriously down. They're not having babies like they should. They cannot keep up. So, you know, their thing is, hey, I got to kill up as many black people as possible, and I got to try to breed the melanin out of them and into us, which is why you have, like, mulattoes like Tracy Ellis Ross, and then somebody else, like Sammy Davis Jr.'s kids are mulatto, you know, half caste, right? And his grandkids are damn near white. That's how I think Diana Ross' grandkids is. They damn near white. Like literally damn near white, because they literally breeded the melanin up out of them. So in 2 generations, it can go either way. In 2 generations, basically all of our black blood, dominant black blood, will be wiped out, or their white blood will be wiped out. You know what I mean?
Are they as fair-skinned as Nina Simone's daughter?
They like white, literally, like white, white. If you didn't know, you would think that
like you wouldn't, like you wouldn't know unless they told you.
No,
I probably still wouldn't believe them.
They are maybe the white people with a nice tan. You know, nice,
like Meghan Markle.
Yeah, basically.
Because I thought she was white. I thought she was white all day.
Nigga, we talked about that episode 1, I think it was. I thought that that was a white woman. I said, that is a nice looking white girl. Turns out she's half. You know, she don't identify nothing with the black people. You know, she's gray. She identifies as being gray.
You gotta move your head like that.
She's gray. I'm gray. You're like, okay, you can be gray all you want to. All you want to. But just know, if white people were to dominate, like completely, to where there are no more black oppressions, and they were looking to purify the race, you'd be gone. So, just want to put that out there. But yeah, man, this Super Bowl, this halftime performance by Justin Timberlake. This nigga, disrespectful ass. There's so many layers to this Justin Timberlake thing.
Yeah, Sinbad was not happy about that. And Sinbad typically is not the type of person who cusses, and he was cussing on Twitter.
Exactly.
Yeah, brother wasn't happy about that. And I can't blame him. Justin Timberlake, I agree with Sinbad. The brother is talented, whatever. But I think he real shady. I think he's shady. I think he's very shady. I think he's shady in his approach of trying to avoid controversy. And you are consistently looked at as that nigga, as that shady nigga. In my opinion. But go ahead, brother. You said there's so many layers?
So many layers to this. First of all, you got to go back to 2000, what was that, 2002? 2003? With the Janet Jackson nipple slip.
So many niggas thanked him for that.
I mean,
they were thanking him for it.
I'm not going to lie. I had jag off material for a little while. Nigga, everybody was jacking off the Janet Jackson, nigga. And the motherfucking Playboys, nigga, the Janet Jackson, the Playboy. He was like, yeah. That was before she had that white people surgery. That was before she had that white people surgery to, you know, fix them lips and that nose and shit. That was back when she was Afro beautiful. Ladies, if you are of Afro descent, I love your wide nose and your thick lip, baby. I love you. But when you decide...
On the Rhythm Nation side of the game, she was fine, man.
When you decide you want to get you a nose job and look like Professor Snape from Harry Potter in the game...
I hate you.
I can't rock with you. I want to be like Bobby Brown, baby. I want to rock with you, baby. Oh, night long. I want to roll with you, baby. But I can't roll with you if you got that Michael Jackson nose.
What Eddie Griffin saying, tell us so that nose look like a pencil, nigga. Write me a note.
Right.
Oh man, Eddie Griffin was fool, man. But nah, back then, man, everybody loved Janet Jackson.
Yes, I still like her, although
she had all the abs I dreamed of.
Right, I think everybody kind of dreamed them abs if you was a woman. Janet was fine back in the day, but yes. So Janet was blacklisted, or I should say whitelisted. Janet was whitelisted from that situation, and your boy Justin Timberlake threw her under the bus.
Later. I mean, at one point he was just like, oh, you know, these things happen. And then, like, when it came down to the wire and they told him, well, oh, because of this, you can't do the Grammys. And then people was talking about pulling endorsements and how he couldn't perform at other football shows and how he would be asked back, blah, blah, blah. That's when he tried to detach himself away from it. And for whatever reason, the NFL won't have her back. They won't have her back at any other halftime performances because of that.
Because she's been whiteballed. She's been whitelisted, whiteballed. And I am a fan of Justin's music. I have been a fan since NSYNC. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I'm put this on anybody and everybody, nigga. I was one of, if not the first, hetero black male in St. Louis to play Justin Timberlake with no remorse.
Yeah, I played Justin Timberlake, NSYNC, and Backstreet Boys. Love them.
Nigga.
Don't judge me.
I had that Grand Am. I had a 97 Grand Am. That was my favorite car. I'm going to give me another one when I get some money. I'm going to find me one and I'm going to fix it up. Real nice. But that's beside the point. I had that Grand Am. Nigga, I used to come pick you up from over there behind Beaumont, nigga. And I will be playing some goddamn Me Cry Me a River.
I had that
and
album.
be straight going down the hood with straight them boys outside on the. I'm talking about them boys. When I say them boys, you know who I'm talking about. Them boys was outside.
I lived in the neighborhood for a long time.
Motherfucker used to look at me crazy when I used to come pick you up. Like
what the
Justin
hell
Timberlake.
Is going on?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my rap. I play the rap, but it's just some shit that they hadn't heard of, and then you see a black dude playing this like loud in his car.
And then as soon as you leave, they playing it.
And then, exactly, and that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened, bruh. Like a week or two later, it was these same dudes standing on the very same front straight and listening to that very same song. Like, man, I feel that nigga, man. I feel that, man. This nigga kind of tight,
sound black, though. He sound black, though. He
that nigga, though, man. I kind of fuck with him. He kind of tight, man. I kind of like this nigga. So, you know, I am not going to brag and pull my own coattails, but I am a trendsetter in St. Louis. You don't know who I am, but you've seen me, and the stuff that I was doing years ago, niggas is just now doing. I used to get clowned for wearing camos in junior high. And when I stopped wearing camos became cool. You see what I'm saying? I wore dog tags as a style before dog tags were popular in St. Louis, nigga. Stand on this shit. So what I'm telling you are straight facts. And like I said, I'm not pulling my own coattails. So I was a advocate of Justin Timberlake. I think he's a fantastic singer. But you are another Miley Cyrus. You use black people to come up in your solo career. You have Pharrell and Timbaland basically producing all of your beats.
Yep.
Getting that cosign from Timbo, legendary producer of Missy, Misdemeanor Elliott, Magoo. You know what I mean? Timbaland is bad. Like, Timbaland's bad to the bone, bro. Like, as a producer, Timbaland is one of those dudes who will go down in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame. So a cosign from him means a lot. So Justin Timberlake used black people to come up on your Cry Me a River album, your Sexy Back album, and then your 2020 Vision album. Yep. Now, your new album is Man in the Woods. And this nigga gonna say, well, I'm trying to get back in touch with my roots. Oh, you trying to get back in touch with your racist roots, huh, boy?
Not boy. Did you say boy?
Trying to get back within your racist roots, huh, boy?
Not boy.
So, yes, what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to set the stage. And I'm trying to give y'all a good understanding of who Justin Timberlake is, okay? So, he has said some very slick shit about Prince. He sneak dissed him a few times. I thought I had the receipts. Hold on, let me look on my laptop. I think I got the receipts over here.
Supposedly had made a diss track.
Yes. He
about
did.
Prince.
He did. Okay, here it is. Yeah, okay, so according to ILoveOldSchoolMusic.com, they say that, in case you're wondering how Prince and Timberlake's past beef started, it was apparently a joke Prince reportedly cracked at a post-Emmys party in 2006. Prince was said to have took a jab. It says to a jab, but it should be took a jab at Timberlake's song Sexy Back by saying, for whoever is claiming they are bringing sexy back, sexy never left. Timberlake then dissed him in 2007 song Give It To Me with his lyrics, we missed you on the charts last week. Damn, that's right, you wasn't there. Now, if C Sexy never left, then why is everybody on my shit? Don't hate on me just because you didn't come up with it.
Come on, boy.
And then there was some other stuff where he was supposed to be presenting an award to Prince, and he ended up dropping the mic stand, which is like disrespectful.
What he did was he didn't drop it. He the mic stand was low, and instead of raising it, he caused himself trying to lean or kneel down because he was accepting the award for Prince. And you know, everybody knows Prince is short. So there's that.
Right. That was so he been sneak dissing for quite a while. So then if you look at Prince's own words, Prince spoke out against using his likeness for any purpose. You know, Prince was real strict about his likeness, his music, his business. Like, that's why you can see music of Prince on YouTube now. You could not find Prince music on YouTube or any free online sources because Prince shut this shit down. That nigga will come for you with his lawyers. He will shut all that shit down because Prince like, look, nigga, you're not gonna be getting this stuff for free. I put all this hard work and effort in it, and I ain't profiting off of it. So y'all can't have it for free. Prince was real strict about his music, and then all of a sudden when he died, some of his songs are missing out of his vault mysteriously. But he died from pneumonia. Was it pneumonia, Rebecca? Allegedly, he died from pneumonia when this nigga was
they tried to say it. They were
50-something-year-old vegan who could do the splits and dance and perform better than people half his age, but he died.
Say that?
But he died. Right, okay. Like I believe it. Almost a day in which Prince went back to Warner Brothers. Now hear me now, I'm getting ready to drop some facts on you. Almost a year to the day that Prince went back to Warner Brothers to negotiate them motherfuckers for his catalog. All of his stuff he did while signed to Warner Brothers under the Prince name, he got all of his publishing back. He got all of his songs back. And almost a year to the day of him signing that contract, Prince died. Now you think that's a conspiracy? No, nigga.
A lot of people try to say it's a coincidence. That is not a coincidence. That was a personal hit, bro.
He black. Let that had been Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen, old ass, is still out here. Hell, they had him on the Superbowl a couple years ago. You know. They will drag they white icons from up out the grave. They will get you sober so they can have you perform at the halftime and put some money in your pocket.
I agree.
Let's not forget that Prince had the best Super Bowl halftime performance ever. No disrespect to Beyonce, baby, but you didn't get with Prince. How about Prince? The stage is the symbol. His symbol, which is the symbol of an ankh, an Egyptian ankh. So Prince was woke as fuck. Prince loved hidden codes. He turned a lot of people on the hidden codes. Prince was woke as fuck. Prince had the best halftime show. That stage that they had is not meant for wet. It's not meant to be wet. It's slick. It's slippery. And this is stuff that I have heard from his backup dancers and stuff who was there performing at the Super Bowl. They did like a little montage to Prince a couple years ago or whatever when they were talking about it. And I'm talking about it was like the white people behind the scenes of the Super Bowl trying to get all of this stuff together. That stage was not meant to be wet. It's not. When it's wet, it becomes slick as snot. Slick, like you can't stand. And these white people was like, oh my God, this is gonna go bad. Prince is going out, he's gonna perform in the rain. The stage isn't ready. Oh my God, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be the worst Super Bowl performance. It rained, blah, blah, blah. This shit is just so terrible. And Prince was like, nigga, we finna go out here and we finna go do our thing.
Prince was like, it's gonna be fine.
Just look, I'm not I don't necessarily believe that everything people say is ordained by God, and I never say ordained by God. But goddamn it, that day Prince was ordained by God, nigga. Put that on it, nigga. The nigga went on stage, him and his backup dancers, and they was dancing and moving and grooving on that slick ass stage and did not fall one time. And then when Prince did Purple Rain, right as he did Purple Rain, it stopped raining. That nigga took off on a scarf, nigga, and he went ham on some motherfucking Purple Rain, nigga. So you mean to tell me all this time it's been raining? This nigga out here, fuck that. We gonna go out here and do our thing. And then right before he did Purple Rain, it stopped raining? Oh, bruh. That is some heavenly shit right there. And I never say that, bro. I never say that. But there had to be a higher power looking out for Prince. Nobody fell. Nobody tripped. Nobody slipped. And then it stops raining right before he does Purple Rain. Prince is the God, bro. Prince is one of those people who only comes around once every few lifetimes. He's like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is one of those people that only comes around once every few lifetimes. So for this nigga to come out here and perform with Prince's likeness, not on a hologram, mind you, but on a sheet, because Sheila Escovedo, Prince's longtime confidant / off and on girlfriend, former drummer of Prince and the Escovedos, because our whole family pretty much plays music. Cool ass sister from the Bay Area. Well, she's not a sister, she's Hispanic, but cool ass sister from the Bay Area. Her and Prince, best friends. I'm talking about the best of the best friends. Prince told her before he died, don't you let nobody use my likeness. Nobody. And she came out and checked Justin Timberlake, because Justin Timberlake was originally going to let them do a hologram of Prince. And Prince came out and he says, this is from an interview, Guitar World Magazine, 1998. This is courtesy of Tariq Nasheed. Love that brother. He always putting the facts out there. They say with digital editing, now mind you, this was 98, so this was 20 years ago. With digital editing, it is now possible to create a situation where you could jam with any artist from the past. Would you consider doing something like that? Now, Prince, at this time, he was not Prince. He was the symbol. For those of you who don't know, he went from Prince, Warner Brothers. The white man tried to say, oh, we own your name, Prince. So he's like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to record under the artist formerly known as Prince. And he did that for a couple albums. And then they got mad about that and tried to sue him. Was like, well, you still have Prince in your name and we own that too. Thus, we own all your music. And Prince was like, oh, hell no. So Prince changed his name to a symbol. It was literally the symbol. Like, you couldn't pronounce it. And that nigga wrote slave on his face when he went out. Like, bruh, don't do Prince. So this is during his symbol days. So he says, certainly not. Listen to what Prince is saying. They asked him if you would ever consider jamming with somebody, via digital editing. He said, certainly not. That's the most demonic thing imaginable. Everything as it is, as it should be. If I was meant to jam with Duke Ellington, we would have lived in the same age. The whole virtual reality thing, it's really demonic. And I'm not a demon. Also, what they did with that Beatles song, Free as a Bird, manipulating John Lennon's voice to have him singing from across the grave, that'll never happen to me. To prevent that kind of thing from happening is another reason why I want artistic control. So you see why Prince was so thorough about his catalog, about his shit, about his business. And not only that, Justin Timberlake had a pre-Super Bowl party at Paisley Park, knowing he don't fuck with Prince and knowing Prince don't fuck with him. And then when Sheila Escovedo check you about using his image, you gonna put up a fucking sheet, a fucking giant 50-foot sheet. And I didn't even watch this nigga's halftime performance. Because people was going in on him. Like Gabby Sidibe went on him. Sinbad went in on him. Jamel Hill, even though Jamel Hill be on that fake pro-black shit. If all y'all niggas capable for Jamel Hill, you could kill yourself. I don't mean that, but you should make better decisions about Jamel Hill. But we're not talking about Jamel Hill. Mm-hmm. But there was a whole bunch of people came out, spoke out against your boy Justin Timberlake. The nigga is at the ultimate level of disrespect. You don't even have no right to do a Prince tribute, nigga. You have no fucking right to do a Prince tribute. None.
I looked at it as like, you don't even like this guy. What was the purpose of you doing it?
Disrespect.
Right.
Disrespect. He a white supremacist. Or a suspected white supremacist anyway. You basically disrespecting that man's legacy by doing that. You disrespecting somebody from beyond the grave. That's crazy. But you go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I didn't. That's all I had to say about it. I was like, you didn't even like this guy like that. So what was the point? I just think it was shady. He should have left it alone. That's my opinion on it. He should have just left it alone.
I'm not. Which, I mean, when I seen that Man in the Woods bullshit, and he was like, oh, I'm trying to get back to my roots. I was like, oh, you crossed over, huh? And white artists have this thing about crossing over. And you got to be really careful about white artists. Because they'll get in using black people, and then once they get on their feet as an artist, they'll jump ship and get on code. Miley Cyrus, Justin Timberlake, Yellow Wolf is definitely kind of on that cusp of doing that shit. You know, Yellow Wolf flies the Confederate flag really hard. I find that suspect. I think his music's pretty decent. His new album I thought was trash, but he's pandering to a white audience. So we say Justin Timberlake, Yellow Wolf, Miley Cyrus, Mark Wahlberg, former Marky Mark. He was on there yo bullshit too, and somebody checked his ass like, nigga, you don't fucking talk like that. Black dude, I forget who it was, but it's probably all I can think of off the top of my head. But Pink was another one. Pink came up. She had that little hit with Missy Elliott, and her whole first album was black and shit. And then after that, you a punk rocker.
I remember.
Right. So y'all be thinking I'm bullshitting. There's the receipts right there. But yeah, man, Judge JT, man, he ultra disrespectful, bro. I can't fuck with the nigga no more. I'm not gonna support him. I still have his old music, and I will continue to listen to his old music because I think he is talented. But am I going to support him any longer after that? No. Not at all.
Yeah.
You've shown yourself to be who you are, and as good as you are, nigga, you not even at a fucking roach at Prince's feet, bro. Not even.
Tell me how you really feel.
Prince was a prodigy. Or I should say Prince is a prodigy because the spirit is ever living. The soul never dies. Africans believe that the soul is eternal. So I believe that Prince's soul is with us out here somewhere, if not here with us right now. But Prince was a prodigy. He mastered like 6-8 instruments by the time he was like 8 years old or something. Don't quote me on that. But Prince had mastered several instruments. He played the guitar, he played drums, and as a matter of fact, Prince would often play all of the music on his albums. A lot of times Prince was such a stickler for his music. He would often play all of the instruments on his albums and then basically bring people in for backup singers and stuff like that. Prince actually wrote, I'm pretty sure he wrote and produced the first Time album. It's called The Time. It's very good. Morris Day and The Time. You know what I mean? So through Prince, you have people like Morris Day, you have people like Jerome Benton. From The Time, you have Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. So you have Prince. Prince put The Time on, which they, like him and Morris Day were good friends growing up. I think they went to same schools or something, but him and Morris Day was good friends. But let's just break this down here. From Prince alone, you have Morris Day and The Time. From The Time, you have Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Who is Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis? They were the ones who put Janet Jackson on. They were the ones who did all the productions behind the early Janet albums. So if there was no Prince, there would be no Janet.
Yeah. I agree.
If there was no Prince, then we probably would not know who Sheila Escovedo is. There's a lot of people he put on. Like, there's this girl, he used to be signed his label named Bria Valentine. She was pretty cool. I liked her music. But Prince was dope, man. Prince was a workaholic. But he took care of himself. Prince is that guy.
Yes, he did.
I only had time to
I think what they did was when they tried to spin the narrative that he was a drug addict and all this stuff, and he died of a drug overdose, and niggas weren't going for it, they had to come back and say, oh, well, it was really this.
Right. Oh, he really died
had to
from
come
pneumonia.
back and tell a different lie.
He died from pneumonia mysteriously. Right. But yeah, man, I didn't really had intend to take up all of this time discussing this, but man, it's kind of infuriating. Prince is the god. Prince's music stands the test of time. Prince was the artist by the truest sense of the word. Prince was an artist.
Yeah.
And Prince was humble. Prince had a humble cockiness about him. Because there was actually, let me see here, I think it was Lenny Kravitz. Mm-hmm. I'm not quite sure, but there was this video I seen years ago, and I haven't watched it in a long time. There was this video where I think it was Lenny Kravitz was doing like American Woman, I think. Mm-hmm. And then Prince came out on stage, and he like kind of just like real quiet. He just came on stage during the middle of this dude's performance and kind of tapped the drummer on the shoulder. And he like, hey man, let me get at some of this. So like he started playing the drums and then da-da-da-da. And then I think Lenny Kravitz turns around and finds out that it's Prince on the stage. So at that time, he hands Prince a guitar, I think something like that. And Prince proceeds to go ham, like just does what Prince does. You know what I mean? And Lenny Kravitz was stoked about that. If I was Lenny Kravitz and I was a guitarist, Prince would definitely be somebody I would look up to as a guitarist. As a black guitarist, you could look up people like Prince. You could look up people like Bootsy Collins, who was one of the greatest bass players of all time. One of the very few black famous bass players. You know what I mean? You could look at people like Larry Graham, who's also a bass player. Larry Graham played with Prince for a little while. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
My man got to check up on my spaghetti.
B.B. King, right? You good? Check on your spaghetti, nigga. B.B. King is another one of those people who you would look up to as a guitarist.
I agree.
So for Lenny Kravitz,
I can't believe he made it through. I can't believe he made it through the performance, because I would have cried.
Man, it's an artist thing, you know, when you on stage and you just jamming and you vibing, and it ain't no sheet music, nigga. You just jamming, you just doing whatever comes to your soul through your fingertips. That's what you doing. So, if I was Lenny Kravitz, would I look up to Prince as a guitarist just as much as I would like a Jimi Hendrix? Hell yeah, I would. So for Prince to come on stage and be like, hey, and at the end of the performance, he like, hey, you and Lenny like, nah, man, it's you, man, you the GOAT. Prince is like, nah, bro, you good, man. Like you. And, you know, Prince is one of them dudes, and I'm going to say this and I'm going to be done. Prince is one of those dudes who did not smile with niggas.
No, he didn't. He didn't smile with new people. He didn't play that.
Prince did not smile with these niggas out here. And by niggas, I mean a general motherfucker. Prince did not smile with these folk out here. Prince wasn't out here cooning and shucking and jiving and soft showing. Prince was woke as fuck. You can listen to his music and tell the Prince was woke as fuck. But y'all don't know that. But that's cool. But yeah, man, Prince did not smile with them new niggas, bro. He wasn't about that. That's why I fuck with him.
Prince died. When Prince passed away, a lot of people thought that the world just stopped when Michael Jackson passed away. Like, Michael Jackson being murdered, because he was murdered, wasn't upset, just like Whitney Houston was. But when Prince was murdered, everything shut down. So much so to where, like, even people like Spike Lee and other artists went to his hometown and they had like a 2-3 day block party. Like a consistent block party that never ended. Like, they had a parade for this man. Like, it was crazy. I never seen nothing like it, and I don't think we'll ever see anything like that again.
Not in our lifetime, anyway.
Right? Even when people like Obama or Oprah or you know what I'm saying, somebody like that, like I would definitely say, you know, and it's not that Michael Jackson is less important, but it's something about Prince's effect on the world, and not just in music, but just in political issues and the black community and things like that. Like, it was just amazing. It was just amazing to see. People like, oh my God, people was crying over Michael Jackson. They're going to lose for a day, and that was it. When Prince died, people so much so to where people still talk about it, even now.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, it was like a legit, true upset. Crazy.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes.
So.
Purple is the color of royalty. Just want to put that out there.
This is my favorite color.
So, Prince and purple, a.k.a. royalty. Prince is royalty. There you go. Drop some new knowledge on you. I know you didn't know that, but that nigga knew he was royalty. That's why he wore purple.
That's one of my favorite colors. I love the color purple.
Yes. So, Rebecca, see you smashing that spaghetti there. I feel that, my nigga.
Yes.
It's good. It's good. I know you be putting your foot in it. You be making spaghetti for like 6 hours.
Bruh.
Rebecca got to use like lamb meat from a virgin goat and shit.
I think that might be damn lamb meat. I don't know, it might not be a damn idea.
Rebecca used that gyro meat.
That gyro, as Corey Hope would say, gyro.
Gyros. But, you know, this is February. And besides the fact that February has born greats like myself and my mentor, Brother Lawrence, and my homeboy Demetrius, who is also an Aquarius, and Angela Davis is also an Aquarius, although she was born on the January side of the game. February is Black History Month.
Yes, it is.
So, Rebecca, how do you feel about Black History Month?
Well, most people would say, well, I've heard this before, we should be happy that the white man gave us a month. And people like that I have to instantly stop talking to. May seem judgmental, but after hearing somebody say something like that, I instantly feel like I can't learn nothing from it. But I feel like why we just recognizing black people, our ancestors, in 1 month when they should be an everyday thing. And it's sad because that's what we've been conditioned to do. And instead of going against the grain and saying, no, this is what we're going to do, people still take that 1 month that they gave us, like they gave us everything else. So I really don't have any feelings about Black History Month because this should be something that should be celebrated every day and not just for 1 month. That's my opinion.
All right. Well, you see, Rebecca, Black History Month is a show. It is something that the white man gave you, and you seem happy about it, that you only want to celebrate Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks in the 29 days of the month of February. Now let's break down the month of February, brothers and sisters. 29 days, shortest month in the year, coldest month out of the year. They choose to give you Black History Month. Now why is that?
Now they might throw Frederick Douglass in there a little bit here and there.
Oh yeah,
George Washington Carver here and there.
George Washington Carver.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm in agreement with you, Becky. I feel like Black history is, like, I should say, Black history is, was, and always will be. It's kind of like what the Bible say, that the Lord saw the end as it was the beginning. Well, it's the same thing with Black history. Black history is, was, and ever will be. Black history is yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We are Black history, nigga. Every day we breathe, we bless your planet with some shit that you could use. And it's funny because Brother Quarles, shout out to Brother Quarles, fantastic speaker. He just did a lesson this past Sunday before that, he did a lesson, and it's called "What Are You Gonna Do in the Meantime?" And he tells a story how this white person tells this black person to go back to Africa, and the black person's like, "Okay, I'll go back to Africa, but first I gotta take the light bulb because I invented that." And before I leave, I just gotta grab some more stuff. Let me grab the peanut butter and all the things that the peanut did that George Washington Carver invented. Let me get that automobile that we invented. Let me get that refrigerator. Let me get that stoplight. So basically, the moral to the story is we created everything. Matter of fact, give me that internet, nigga. Let's take this one step further. Let me get that internet.
Black man did that.
Black man did that. And I'm going to tell you what his name is so you don't think I'm bullshitting you. His name is Philip E. McWally. His name is Philip E. McWally. He is an African brother who invented the internet. You can Google this. And Google, I like Google, but Google is just as racist as the rest of these motherfuckers out here. Because if you type in who created the internet, they're going to give you like two British white men. And they're going to give you some dates. But if you say black man invented the internet, it's going to come up Philip E. McWally, and there's going to be some dates that puts him in there, and he's the one who actually created the internet. So long story short, nigga, if we go back to Africa, we got to take everything, whether it's the refrigerator, the stoplight, everything, nigga. Everything. So we are Black history. That's not to say that there is no actual Black history, because there is an actual Black history that goes back.
You are accurate, brother.
Millions of years.
It says, who created the internet? Robert E. Kahn, invent Curve.
Right.
And that is not accurate. Claim they invented it in 1983.
White people lie. White people lie all the time. Like they had to try to lie on King Tut mama. She's pale face. Like, nope, not at all. She's a black woman, but nice try. All right, cool. What about all them African women that got found with cornrows in their head? Huh? Okay, cool. So, yes. But Black history is something that we should study every day. I study Black history when people, I guess, of a conscious nature meet me and they ask me the things that I am into as far as study is concerned. I always tell people these are the two things that I like to study. I like to study history, and I like to study the system of white supremacy. I want to study history because I want to know what happened, why it happened, when it happened, and how we can prevent that from happening again. I like history, real history. And then I like white supremacy because currently all of us are trapped in a system of white supremacy. We are all victims of a system of white supremacy. So I want to be able to understand how this system works. Dr. Fubar Johnson said it best in Hidden Colors.
Fubar.
Yes.
I ain't play with you.
Dr. Fubar Johnson said that you not finna get under that car without looking at the manual because you could possibly get killed or do more damage to the car. Well, long story short, if you don't know what you're doing, you can't combat the system that you're in. You don't know how to fix the problem, so you got to understand that. So by me studying history and supremacy, I can figure out how I can move and teach other Africans and Black Americans to be able to move through this system too.
I agree.
Black history is every day. Black history is now. We are Black history. And that's all I got to say about
I agree. Are you sure? Because did you want to tie that into the Pan-African flag?
Ah, yes. Well, for those of you who obviously hasn't figured out, we are the Socially Conscious St. Louis podcast. And as socially conscious St. Louisans, we would not be socially conscious St. Louisans if we did not talk about the socially conscious things that went on in St. Louis. Am I correct, Becky?
You are accurate, sir.
Okay, well... the Pan-African flag was recently flown in front of the St. Louis City Hall.
Sure was.
They flew
on Diamond and Silk side of the game.
Right, the Pan-African flag.
Yep.
In front of City Hall. Now, if you don't understand how racist St. Louis is, not sure if we've talked about this, but St. Louis is very, very racist. St. Louis is one of the most racially segregated places in America. They make no bones and no excuses about their racism here in St. Louis. Not at all. Not at all. So, St. Louis used to sell slaves on the front of the old courthouse downtown. These are facts. They used to sell slaves in front of the old courthouse downtown. The riverfront used to, I don't think it probably has the chains anymore, but the riverfront used to have the slave chains where they used to keep the slaves locked up until it was time to auction off. The Mississippi River, which is a direct reflection of the Nile in Africa, is the same river that they used to ferry our ancestors up and down. And St. Louis is one of those places where slavery was okay. You know, this was a swinging state, flip-flop state. But it was always racist. They sold slaves down here, nigga. They still pick cotton 2 hours south of here, nigga. I went to go pick up Kim, going to Pops' wedding. Went down there, and I got to Sykeston, and then when you get past Sykeston and start going to the little other country towns, you got to drive on them back country roads to get to the little country towns down there, and it's dark, so you can't see nothing. But during the daytime, you look around, you like, God damn. Cotton?
Really?
Let me tell you, we're not that far from slavery. We are, what, 18, when were the slaves emancipated? 18, I'm going to look this up just because I don't have okay. January 1st, 1863. President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation. So 1863, 1963, that's 100 years.
Kind of, sort of, because some slaves didn't even know, they had no knowledge about being free until 2.5 years later.
That's true. But for the sake of moving the conversation
for all intents and purposes.
Right. That's 100 years. 1963. That was during the Civil Rights era, 1960s. Okay. 2003, that's 140 years. Am I correct? That's 140 years, right, Rebecca? Okay, 2013, that's 150 years. Am I right, Rebecca? Okay, 2023 will be how many years, Rebecca?
160
years. So we're literally only 150 years from emancipation. So let me tell you, slavery is still a very real thing. You see that because our brothers and sisters over there in other parts of Africa and Libya are being enslaved right now. So you go down there and you see cotton still being grown in fields, long, massive fields. You realize that we're not that far off from slavery. And when you do the math, you say 150 years. Hell, that's not a long time. What, the Moors took over? The Moors took over Europe for like what, 500-600 years, 800 years? I don't know. I could look it up, but it's not important. So 150 years, that's not nothing. We're not that far off slavery. So when I was like, oh my God, they still grow cotton down here? Ooh. Yeah. So
I honestly say, I've never seen a cotton field before.
And look. You gonna be like, damn. When you see that cotton field, it's literally gonna go off of your mind, damn, we not that far off from slavery. And then if you understand New Madrid area, New Madrid, Missouri area, Boot Hill, Missouri area, there's nothing but poverty and welfare. So the majority of the people who do make any money pick cotton, and that probably only pay like $12 an hour, if that. Probably for like 3-4 months out of the year, so there's literally nothing down there but poverty and cotton.
I have to think of stuff like, what does that do to your soul as a black person to be picking cotton? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. Probably don't feel good about it, but you know, those are a lot of those people. Are like eagles raised in a chicken coop. There's a story of an eagle being raised in a chicken coop, and all his life he's been raised as a chicken. One day the farmer comes by, or somebody comes by and says, hey man, you're not a chicken, you an eagle. You can fly, you don't belong on the ground, you belong in the sky. Look at them, those are eagles. The eagle couldn't grasp the concept because he was raised as a chicken. Chickens are flightless birds. Think about it. It'll come to you.
No, I hear what you're saying.
Right. So, yeah. They raised the Pan-African flag at City Hall. And I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you was pretty angry about it. I saw your post.
I know Kiki was like, "Oh yay!" I was like, I didn't say nothing on her page because you know how that relationship could be between her and I. Sometimes we cool, sometimes we ain't. So I thought it best just to leave it alone. But now that
Thank
I'm
you
here,
so much. I appreciate that.
right? But now that I'm here on my platform, let me tell you how I really feel. I feel it's a crock of bullshit. We still haven't got justice for Mike Brown. But you want to raise the Pan-African flag. We still have not got justice from old boy killing homeboy from Pine Lawn. And I met that nigga too. I met that nigga. He a funny style nigga. Y'all, I'm dead ass serious, bro. The nigga, I forget homeboy's name who got killed in Pine Lawn. No disrespect to the family. I just don't know the brother's name. I don't even know the white man's name. But I did meet that white officer. When I was working for 4-day landscaping, that a racist Italian prick, I met dude. And basically, he killed homeboy like 2-3 years ago, fled to Texas, got another job, I think, in law enforcement until the U.S. Marshals came knocking on his door. You need to come with us. You're wanted for murder. In the case of so and so and so and so, pack your shit. You going back to St. Louis to stand trial. So this goofy ass looking white dude, clean cut, baby face. You can look at this dude and tell he hasn't done a hard day's work in his life. You can look at him and tell immediately that this dude has never done a hard day's work in his life. And he had this goofy smile, and he had this really goofy swagger. And I was looking like something wrong with that dude. So we asked him, like, Justin, he's the manager of 4-Day. He cool as shit. Shout out to Justin, bro. I fucks with you, Juice. You my guy, man. I appreciate what you did for me, bro. You ain't had to do that. Nigga gave me some hours when there really weren't no hours on the books like that, you know what I mean? So that's my guy, man. Shout out to Juice. That was some real shit, man. And that's a white dude, by the way, so I don't fucking hate white people. And I've had that conversation with him, too, side note, but I'm like, I don't hate white people. I only hate those that choose to practice racism. That's all. But we was like, man, what's up with this dude? He like, man, I don't know. He's a friend of a friend called Matt, and he's here, and I got to hire him. I was like, all right. Nigga lasted 2 days. Dude was telling us that he was all out of breath. He didn't know what this stuff was and that stuff was. You could tell he wasn't used to being outside like that. And like he worked for like 2 days, and then after that he disappeared. And that morning the news broke that he was the one who killed homeboy over there in Pine Lawn with that AK that he got in his trunk. So I know y'all, I be long-winded, y'all, but that's just who I am. I like to lay the groundwork in order for people to understand exactly what's going on. I just want to lay the groundwork for what happened and what St. Louis is. If you don't know, if you don't live in the city, I want you to have a clear understanding of our history and our current affairs so you can get a good understanding of where I'm going. So there's no justice for dude. There's no justice for Mike Brown. There's no justice for anybody else who got killed in the St. Louis area by police that just hasn't really been mentioned on the national news. St. Louis is one of the most racist places in America. I cannot stress that enough. And for you to fly the Pan-African flag in front of City Hall on during Black History Month tells me that you own that symbolic baby back bullshit. You are on that symbolic bullshit. You just want niggas to be passive because of all the shit that done happened. So you think by raising a flag that black people are going to be cool because it's Black History Month, and you're just going to forget about all the foul shit I did to you. And I just had one more thing to say. Originally, the Pan-African flag was raised. With news, with the media, when all of them was out there, the Pan-African flag was raised. The red,
a lot of white people was upset about that.
Right. The red, the black, and the green. It's the Pan-African flag or the UNIA flag, the United Negro Improvement Association. It's a black liberation flag. The red stands for the blood of the people, the blood of the African people. Yes, red is the color of the blood which men must shed for the redemption and liberty. Black is the color of the noble and the distinguished race to which we belong. And green is the color of the luxuriant vegetation of our motherland. So these niggas put up, took that flag down, took the actual Pan-African flag down, and put a flag which is supposed to be the Pan-African flag, but it's not. Because it's not red, black, and green, it's black, red, and green. So they took the other flag down and put a black, red, and green flag up. That's not the Pan-African flag. I look at my flag every day that I come into my house. It sits above my couch. I see it every time I come and go out of my house. I know what the flag is supposed to look like. I fucks with that flag because I guess you could call me a Pan-Africanist. I'm just for black people who's for black people. I'm not necessarily a Pan-Africanist, a black nationalist, a Moor, a Hebrew Israelite. I am for black people who are for black people. That is the bottom line. And red, the RBG flag, is the flag for black people who are for the upliftment and prosperity of black people. And they fucked around and replaced it with a black, red, and green flag. And you think, I'm just going to say that's a slap in the face. I'm done. That's a big slap in the face. That's just as bad as Justin Timberlake doing the Super Bowl party at Paisley Park. Knowing Prince didn't fuck with you. Go ahead.
I think you said it all, homie.
You sure?
A lot of people were saying, like, you know, why be upset about it? And they didn't understand. You know, what black people's problem was. And I was like, if you can't understand what the problem is, you got to be part of the problem. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's also from people who don't live in St. Louis. They don't understand why we so upset about it. I don't think I know one person who was happy about it that I knew of that live in St. Louis.
Right, they live in St. Louis. It's another symbolic victory. That's all it is. And not only are you disrespecting us who fuck with the flag, I take that flag to heart. That flag fucks with it. That and the Haitian flag, I fucks with it. Hell, I might even fuck with the American flag because we built this country too. But yeah, I don't really too much fuck with that. But the Pan-African flag and the Haitian flag, I fucks with those. You know what I mean? And that's a slap in the face to me, everybody who rocks with that flag. That is a slap in the face to the Honorable Marcus Garvey, probably the most influential Pan-African leader that we've ever had. You know what I mean? Like, that is a slap in the face to all of us. It's another symbolic Barack Obama victory. That's all it is. You wonder why I get mad. Because it's disrespectful. It's extremely disrespectful. But,
the comments about it was disrespectful too. They were saying the stuff that they were saying about us, like, oh, this looks like toilet. People like down. Why is it being flown? Where something they never Hester said, where is the little also take it down? All the Africans are migrating here. Like, for people who don't think that St. Louis is 1,000 races, you cannot be Confederate flag up, with it. It seems fair. Like, it's just crazy.
This is
so yeah.
Yes. Let me see. Speaking of disrespect, let's talk about the return of Diamond and Silk. Oh, Diamond and Silk. First of all, y'all hoes sound like strippers, and y'all too ugly to be strippers. Y'all some lesbian dykes, but that's cool. But if nobody's ever heard of the Diamond and Silk duo, they're also known in some circles as the Stump for Trump girls. They're the ones who are the ultimate ghetto mammy plantation trash. And we gonna build that wall. Then you got the short fat one with the fucked up wig.
You said what?
You know, the short fat one. The tall one be talking, and then the short one be doing all the cosign.
Yeah,
like
man, I didn't know she could talk until I seen that video.
Seuss. That's thing 1 and thing 2 from Dr. Seuss, nigga.
Man. And they be like, well, you see, and she be, uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Is.
I would love to see the Diamond and Silk porno.
No.
That would be hilarious. They're like, suck that dick, girl. Mm-hmm. And you gonna suck it good. They gonna get a Donald Trump lookalike to playing this porno.
No.
They gonna get a Donald Trump lookalike. Go suck the president's dick. Mm-hmm.
So disgusting.
He'd be like, and the truck would be like, I'm gonna give this dick, and believe me, it's gonna be good. I know, it's fine. Believe me, I know, my dick is good. Just ask Melania, she knows.
That is disgusting, dude. Oh my God.
My dick is good. Just ask Omarosa.
Right. Oh my God. You know, every time he get rid of one nigga, he gotta find 2 more.
Well, you know, Diamond and Silk never actually went nowhere.
That's how I feel about Diamond and Silk.
They never actually went nowhere, though.
Out the White House, he got to find 2 more. He had them on standby.
They never went nowhere. They just been quiet. You know, they've been dormant, but they got that call. Hello. Yeah, this is your president, Donald J. Trump. Yeah. I need you to go on Fox News, talk that shit. Yeah. All right. Yeah, they was talking about a whole bunch of bullshit, talking about Jay-Z. You know, Jay-Z basically said that money doesn't necessarily make you a good person, doesn't make you happy. And they're like, well, here come, I think it's Silk, the short, fat one. She was like, well, I take breadcrumbs over nothing any day. And I was like, that's your goddamn problem right there. That's your goddamn problem right there. You'd rather take crumbs off them butter biscuits that the white supremacists is throwing you.
Right. Nancy Pelosi talking, it's going to be an Armageddon. Not an Armageddon, but an Armageddon. And I'm going to tell her that I'm going to be getting some money. Like, typically when I've seen people tap dance and, you know, and chuck and jive, it typically pisses me off. I can't get mad at them because they so stupid it's funny. It's been a long time since I've been presented with that.
Right. Well, let's make this correlation. Now, for those of us who grew up in the era where they were constantly playing Tom and Jerry reruns, if you look at some of the more older Tom and Jerry cartoons, occasionally you would see an image of a burly, heavyset black woman, plantation mammy, who looked like Aunt Jemima. They never showed her face, but they always showed her hips and some more shit. Oh shit, it's Gooch the Great. Gooch the Great, what up, nigga? What up, Gooch?
Gooch the Great.
Gooch the Great in the motherfucking building, y'all. Socially conscious St. Louis. We got Gooch the Great in the building. What up, Gooch? Shit, man. We was just over here talking this shit on this podcast, Dirty. Yeah, we on, man. Shit, you just in time. Shit, look. We still got plenty of time for you. Yeah, we was just going in on these plantation mammies, Diamond and Silk. I don't know if you ever heard of them. The stuff for Trump girls.
Not plantation mammies.
They is plantation mammies, but yeah, like I was saying, man, if y'all remember them old Tom and Jerry cartoons, there was this old black woman that you would see from time to time. She talked like this, Thomas. And she would always come through and hit him with that broom. That is the negative image of the black woman, Aunt Jemima Plantation Mammy. That's Diamond and Silk right there.
No.
Okay.
Motherfucking Trump gonna build that wall, and he gonna build it tall. Shut the fuck up. Sit down somewhere.
Oh, like those two little women that were representing Trump, like when he was running?
Yeah, that's him. That's him. No, I mean, not him, them. That's them. Same ones.
Okay.
Yeah, they talking about some, well, if money don't matter, Jay-Z, then just go down to Skid Row and give all your money up, bitch. The nigga say money don't matter because money don't buy you happiness. He didn't say he don't give a fuck about his money that he rightfully earned.
Right. Money in the thing.
But that's why
Money ain't a thing. Let's get Gooch on this, man. 'Cause you know, Gooch, you know, he ballaholic and shit. You know, he out here making big moves.
I'm telling you, I think Gooch is like one of our distant cousins or something. Because Gooch is everywhere.
Nigga be everywhere. He got some clones. He got some clones out here.
Hey, man, you know, I never started Purple Rain, but I'm still a prince. I got in there.
I feel you. So does money buy happiness, Gooch? Because, you know, we poor around here. You know, we poor folks, you know.
Don't buy happiness, it buy close opposite.
Thank you.
Everybody close up. See, because this is the thing, like, a bitch will really act like she likes you because of your money.
Uh-oh.
I mean, so, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can buy happiness. Yeah, I'll say, yeah, not enough to buy happiness. I can't think of anything money really can't buy someone. Because everybody has a price, like, you know, even if you take a woman like Oprah, worth $2 billion. If Bill Gates was like, hey, you know what? After the show, I got $20 billion for you to fuck. She don't fuck.
Sure.
Yeah, that's how she got to the top.
It depends on how much money you have. Everyone has a price.
Everyone has a price, but I mean, money don't buy you happiness. Money only compounds the person. Now, I can only speak from a person who is very analytical. I've never had that type of money. But I feel money only amplifies who you are. If you're an asshole, money gonna make you a bigger asshole. If you a philanthropist, then you gonna be a bigger philanthropist. Cap just finished up his the $1 million pledge he did to donate $1 million to different charities. He just finished that up.
Right. That's crazy. I don't know. When I got signed to get it, I was 17 years old, and they gave me $1.8 million. That's 17 years. I was so young that my mom and dad had a contract with me because, you know, I was underage.
Right.
It didn't really affect me until I was around 20 years old. That, you know, I just started, you know, doing crazy shit that I normally would have done. Kind of like, you know, blah, blah, blah. But when I got 20 and I started seeing what girls would do, I lost my mind.
Yes, them hoes at a party.
See, because, you know what, here's the thing. You know, today things are different. People do things backwards. Like, I remember when you were a real VIP, you didn't pay to go on VIP. You were VIP, so everything was free. You didn't pay for bottles, but they gave you free bottles for being there.
Right.
So, and in retrospect, I came up in the day with money. Because a woman go out her way to prove what she can do to try to get money. So now it becomes a chess game. You got to prove to me what you can do, and I'll sit back and just take everything that you're trying to prove, and not give you any. Now niggas have money, and they coming out the pocket first. That's retarded to me. Bitch, if you know I'm worth $10 million, You gotta prove to me that you're worthy. I gotta prove shit to you.
That's real. And you know what? That's real. I think you said something very important there, bro. Because you know what? That's the mentality that you should have. Period. I have that type of mentality. I don't have like that type of money right now. I want to get everything that I could get out of this world, but I'm only 31. I just turned 31 Saturday, so I still got a good ways to go.
Happy birthday, man. Happy belated
Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. Yeah, you know, but I have that mentality because I know just my mentality alone is different than most of these niggas out here. I got to get it out the mud, get it by myself, do it myself type of mentality. And I know I'm a boss based off of my mentality, based off the things that I'm doing or in the process of getting together. So even at my level of influence and finance, if a female not gonna come correct, then bitch, you can keep stepping. Cause I don't need you. You need more than I need you, nigga. I'm 31, no kids, got my own business, nigga. Like, how many people could really say that? At least around.
Negative, heterosexual. You got a lot of things going for you.
Right. Definitely heterosexual.
Yeah,
Don't fuck with them booty bandits.
No herpes, no nothing, you know what I mean?
No, I ain't got that shit.
I can't deal with
Booty bandits. But as Diamond and Silk did,
Circumcised or non-circumcised?
Circumcised.
Okay, you see, I like shit for you. There's a lot of niggas out here. They got quarterbacks and turtlenecks. You know what I mean? So you got a lot of shit you can brag on. Like, look, bitch, I'm 31.
I can't.
Kids.
I can't, Gooch. I can't.
No bumps. Circumcised. They ain't got no cool back, no convertible.
Oh my God.
That skin back.
Oh my God.
No soft top.
Yeah,
oh my God, Gooch.
Yeah, no turtleneck. You got a lot of things you can brag on.
That's true. I ain't got to brag on myself, man. I let my actions speak for me.
I can't deal with Gooch. I cannot. I was not prepared for this.
Hey, that's why we told y'all niggas. I told y'all niggas we was gonna have this nigga back on the show, y'all. Know this motherfucker be out here clowning, man. Like I say, we had talked about you last week, nigga. We was like, man, that nigga Gooch, man, he like, where's Waldo from them motherfucking books? You all see him, but you don't never see him. The nigga be like, yeah, that's me on some old shit. You be like, yeah, that's me behind Grand Poobah next to Tupac in front of Busta Rhymes. And you be like, what the fuck? You gotta rewind that shit back 2 or 3 times. You be like, that's that nigga right there.
Well, you know, I took the full version up because a lot of people. What that was, we were in Long Beach, and it was me, Pop, Grand Poobah,
Man.
Busta, and Deli Jeff. And what happened was we had like a little, you know, like a little fight for a nigga for rhyming. That's when I was young, man. I was a young cat, man, and niggas just started hearing about me, and I started having a buzz and rhyming. So I like to post stuff like that. So just to show people how long I've been doing this. You know what I mean? I've been doing this since my bit was a goldfish.
Right.
So I have a little history in this, you know?
That's real, man. You like kind of like Darlene. You one of the unsung heroes of the hip hop game. You know, one of the people who always been there, but you rarely hear about it. Give the credit. But I mean, if it wasn't for Darlene, then Ice-T would have never been the Ice-T that we know as today. Darlene, you know, like basically.
Yeah, and another thing, I couldn't wear that outfit either that Darlene had on. If I had some shit like that, it would look like I'm smuggling a baby. I can't.
I would hope you didn't wear no shit like that, because I'd have to look at you sideways on the gooey butter raccoon side of the game.
No.
They said it's my man. That's really my man. Mwah. Get the fuck out of here. I turned that shit off. I was like, cut it off.
I called Corey. I said, Corey, I got something for you to see. And it's important. And I sent it to him. And he put that motherfucker up on Twitter immediately. And we're like, what the fuck? When you said my man, he was my man. And come to find out, Corey told me, nigga, if I would have known that, he would have never come on the show.
Man.
Man.
And I think Aries is funny, man. I think he's a funny comedian, but he one of them type of niggas who don't have no confidence in himself. He don't have no faith in himself. He constantly looking for somebody to give him a hand up instead of fucking with the people like Corey do, which is the reason why we are here talking about Monique today. Cause
okay.
Yeah, you know.
Before we keep talking, I didn't say a beautiful co-host.
Oh yeah, Rebecca.
Huh?
Say hello.
I take it back. All right, let's go. I said,
What did he say?
You ignored me.
You can't hear him?
Not for real. I'm sorry.
Let me take this video.
Don't do it. All I heard was, I take it back. I know it sound like Gooch said something slick. So whatever it is, I apologize.
No, this is what happened. I said, before we go to Monique, I want to say hello to your beautiful co-host.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hello, sir. How are you?
You know, I had my phone case on and be kind of covering up that speaker. That was probably on me. I thought that.
Let me go ahead and correct this situation before, because Gooch, Gooch be turning people down. So let me go ahead and get right. I apologize, Gooch. How are you? Thank you so much.
Hello, baby. You have a question to ask me. You never asked me, so I'm not. Okay, Monique. Did y'all get into it already, or we just now getting into it?
Well, this is number 3 that we have talked about Monique. But you can say whatever you gotta say, bro. I'm not sure if you've been keeping up with the situation.
Okay, Monique, if you ever have to hear this, stop comparing yourself to Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle. You're not that kind of funny.
No.
You're not $30 million kind of funny. Stop that.
I agree.
You should have taken $500,000. No, wait. They offered her how much? 5.
Hey,
I think they offered.
Yeah, it was $500,000.
Okay, this is what happened. They offered her $3 million, and she said no. They tried $500,000. What she should have done, because me being honest, I'm kind of smart. Take the $500,000, make something of it. I mean, here's the thing. To shoot a comedy series, if you came out your own pocket, it would cost about $150,000, $200,000. So therefore, they gave you $300,000 over something if you would have shot it yourself. So it's still a game. Take that money and flip it. Make that $500,000 $1 million. Make that $1 million $2 million. Show that you're successful, do a good series, then renegotiate another contract. Be like, okay, you gave me $500,000 this time. You see the response I got, and then we can go into the $10 million. But just don't get anything. Just don't walk away from it and get nothing. And now you sound bitter.
I feel that. Now, my thing is, you should have taken the Master P approach. You should have taken the Tariq Nasheed, the Dame Dash approach. You should go at it on your own. Put your own money up. Dame Dash say all the time, if you don't put your own money up, you're not a boss. Put your own money up. I put my own money into my business. That's why I'm working all these double action triggers, so I don't have to go ask no white man for no loan. And if I do, I have something to leverage that loan against. Look, nigga, I got all of this shit over here worth about $5,000. I need about $3,000 off of what I already have in assets. But that's different. I'm coming from an aspect of, I don't necessarily need you, I just want you for something. And that's what Monique should have done. She should just film her own special. She just don't want to put in that type of work. You know what I'm saying? But you don't have to be that. You don't have to be that kind of funny. You have people that fuck with you. You have a core audience. It's just like this podcast. this podcast has a core audience, and I'm trying to build that audience. But if you can't accept this podcast for the shit that we talk about and all the cussing and everything that ensues, then this shit is not for you. You know, I'm an acquired taste in and of myself. I'm not for everybody. Plenty of people consider me to be an asshole. And that's okay. You don't have to fuck with me because there's people who do fuck with me. All ages. You should take the Master P approach. Print up do your own special, put your own money up, and then put it out yourself. And if you're not going to put it out yourself, because you don't need nobody, you could stream it, you could press up your own DVDs by yourself. You don't need nobody. Why the fuck is you waiting on somebody to give you a handout when you don't fucking need a handout? What you need to do is get off your goddamn ass and put in some motherfucking work. But Monique don't want to do that.
Tell them how you really feel.
You just want to blame everybody else for not paying you what you think you worth, and granted you're not that funny, but you have people that fuck with Monique, and Monique can straight come out with her own special and shop it to her fans.
Well,
She look, you get out there, you hustle your product, you work the clubs. Once you work the clubs, you start to figure out what your routine is going to be, and then when you see that your routine is at its peak, you feel like you ready to film that special. Boom, bring in the camera crew. Boom, film that special, and then produce your own special. And you can either shop it to Netflix, HBO, Cinemax, Vimeo. You can shop that product, or you could come out with yourself. Master P sold records out his trunk for years. Vallejo, California, Richmond, all down south. Master P sold records out his trunk. Master P was that guy. And then when he went to go get a deal from a white man, he like, look here, bro, I got all this shit going on over here. All I need you for is a distribution deal. So here, you give me 80%, nigga, and I will give you 20. You got to have something to leverage something against. But when you sit here, please, sir, can I have some more gruel? The nigga gonna look down on you like, fuck you. I ain't got to give you shit. But anyways, Becky, go ahead. Speak on.
I think it's going to take her a while.
Hold up, Gooch. Hold up. I want to get Becky in on this. Becky, what is your opinion on this?
I think it's going to take her a while to do that, in a sense, because I know when it first came out, she was saying they offered her 5, and then Jawan Murray said, well, no, Netflix offered you 3, and then they released a confidential email, which they wasn't supposed to do, but her and her husband, Sydney, released a confidential email showing from Netflix that they honestly only offered her $500,000. And then per this email, I think it said something like the material that she used in the special, she couldn't use it for 24 months.
Right.
And then something about her not being able to tour for a year.
Yeah,
so they kind of would have put her, then they kind of would have put her down for about 36 months, 3 years, whatever. So I think the first thing, in my opinion, that she did wrong was count everybody else's money. It is not your job to worry about what Netflix offers somebody else. Again, it's almost like you have 2 kids and you fix them a plate of food, and you know you upset because you feel like one kid got more food than you did. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I look at it. He's like, oh, well, they got more than me. How come I can't get this much? So did you not give me this much because I'm a woman? And all of that other nonsense. Like, I felt like she could what Wanda Sykes did, which was just turned it down and kind of did your own thing. But see, this is the problem with Monique. Monique lost her core audience. So she kind of and she's like, oh, well, Netflix is messing with my livelihood. But again, you lost your core audience. And it's going to take you the time and work ethic that you had when you first started to be able to build that core audience again. Because when she went Hollywood, so to speak, as they say, she even said that she wasn't that nice. She wasn't that nice of a person. And a lot of the things that she did as far as like her audience and the people that was in her circle, she really didn't treat them fairly because she out here doing movies and shows and stuff like that. And she, at one point, had this superiority complex, like, I'm better than you. So with that personality, when you choose to have a personality, you choose the consequence of it. So you chose to do this, and that in turn lost your core audience. So now it's like you need Netflix for this payday, and Netflix is like, hey, you don't have any hit shows, you don't have this, you don't have that. Like, this is the level that we're offering you. At the end of the day, it's a numbers game, and it's a what have you done for me now, not lately, but now. Like, you're not hot now. People are not checking for you now. You're not selling out to Madison Square Gardens, and you're not doing all these hit movies. So what are you doing for me now? And for her to be like, oh, well, they said I'm a legend like them. Just because they're giving you a compliment because you're a legend, no, that just means you have tenure in the game. You're not as funny as Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock. You're just not. Everybody knows Amy Schumer is a hack, but at the end of the day, Amy Schumer is doing movies and she's selling out shows, even though she's still in shows.
And she's white.
Why people paying? And why people paying for it? So,
and she's white.
It's almost like it's just what it is. But it's like, I just think the way that she went about it was 1,000% wrong. I agree with Tony Rock, when he said, why are you counting everybody else's money? Why are you counting everybody else's pockets? Because at the end of the day, it's not about you. They cannot do Netflix and still be hot, because they can still sell out shows anywhere. Dave Chappelle was gone for how long and came back selling out shows and still selling out shows. Monique doesn't have that type of notoriety, and the reason why she don't is because she lost her core fan base.
Hold up, little bitch. Sit down. Be humble. Dave Chappelle worked the circuits.
So yeah, that's my opinion on that.
Before he got back up at Radio City Music Hall. So again, when you take a what do you call it, a vacation, as it were, you gotta get back into it. Like, you can't just, Floyd Mayweather can't just hop in the ring and he ain't done no road work, he ain't done no training. Like, nah, Floyd, any boxer has to put in that road work. You gotta start jumping roping, you gotta start running, you gotta start boxing, and then you gotta get all of those things back into your body. It's called muscle memory. You got to get all of that stuff back into your body to get you in shape so you can fight. It's the same thing with a comedian. You got to work the clubs. You got to work the circuits. You got to work on your craft and get your buzz going. And then once you get your buzz going and the people are starting to fuck with you, then you can come out, hey, I'm coming out with this special. Because Corey Hogan come out with a special. And he'd be like, hey, 5150, I'm coming out with this special. Fuck with it. But Corey got that core audience. He fucked with the people. When you forget about the people whose income puts you where you are today, all of the people who went to Monique shows, all of the people who watched the Parkers, all of the people who watched her stand-up, that little nighttime show that she had on like TV One, all of the people that supported you, you forgot about all of the people that gave you their hard-earned money so you can be where you are. You ungrateful. That's the way I feel. Gooch, you got something you want to add? Gooch? Nigga still online, I don't know where yet. Nigga must have had took a leave from absence. I don't know. He's still on the line. I guess he'll be back with us in a few minutes. Gooch, feel free to join us, bruh. Yeah. I don't know. I don't still say he online, but anyways. So what else we got to talk about? What time is it? 2 hours. Cool. Yo, he back. He back.
I'm sorry, y'all. I had to take that phone call. I'm sorry.
Oh, you cool?
Okay.
No, you straight, man. Handle your business, man. Money come first.
Man, that was definitely a money call. All right, so we should.
I mean, we didn't say shitting on her, but you just gotta call a spade a spade. Like, you get back and work in them clubs. So basically, like I was saying, like Floyd Mayweather as a boxer, when you prepare for a fight, you got to put in the road work. It doesn't matter how good you were your last fight. You have to put as much effort into your next fight as you did your last fight. So you got to put in the road work. You got to run. You got to box. You got to speed train. You know what I mean? You got to hit the heavy bag. You got to put in that work. And for Monique to be able to build her core audience back up, all of the poor people that supported her to get her the bread to where she's at today, she forgot about all of those people. So she going to have to humble herself and start hitting the clubs. You got to hit the clubs and work on your circuit. Even Dave Chappelle did not just jump up and do Radio City Music Hall. Dave Chappelle didn't just jump up and got 3 Netflix specials. I mean, he's Dave Chappelle, but Dr. Dre is Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre could have released Detox, and niggas was waiting on Detox for like a decade. He could have released Detox, but he scrapped it because he knew it was never going to live up to the hype. Sometimes you got to do that. Mo got to go back to them clubs and start working them circuits and get back and connecting with those people. Otherwise, you're not going to succeed. And then I don't have no problem with you blowing up bridges. Hey, sometimes bridges need to be demolished, but don't cry when you need to cross that river again. After you done blew up that bridge, you can't put all the receipts out. Well, Lee Daniels did this. And I'm not saying that she not right because Mo has had the receipts. But you put Lil Moist, what's the nigga name? The Lil Moist nigga that did Precious, Lee Daniels. You put him on blast. You put Oprah on blast. You put some old niggas on blast. You put Netflix on blast. I ain't mad at you. Yeah, and Tyler Perry. I'm not mad at you. Call them out. Point them out. But don't be mad when somebody don't fuck with you. You can't,
when you make the decision, you have to.
You can't snitch on me and I get fucking locked up for 10 years and then me coming out and me and you think we gonna be cool. Like I get out and get on my boss shit. And then you come back to me calling back for some resources. Hey, man, could you give me a job? Nah, nigga, you sent me upstate for 10 years. I don't fuck with you. That's all, man. Monique can say what she want to say. Do what you do, baby. Put them all on blast. I don't give a fuck. But don't complain about people not fucking with you when you made your bed. Now you got to sleep in it.
It's almost like when you make the choice, you also choose the consequences that come along with that choice. It's a hard life. I'll say this though, it's a hard life, and from my perspective, I'm one of those people where I don't like to see people get done wrong, even if it's in the workplace, especially if it's something that has anything to do with like race or ethics or something like that. So even if it's not me and you in my presence, I have to say something. I just can't sit back and not say anything. So because of that, places that I've worked, I have had a target on my back because of it. But I handle it well, and I handle it with grace because when I made the decision to step up and say something, I knew the consequences of what was going to happen behind that. So I chose those consequences along with doing what I felt and knew was right. So I think it's just kind of one of those things. I think she needs to just build a core audience. She really needs to get back out there and grind like she did when she first came out. She gonna have to. And I'm not saying she should wait for them to do anything for her. I'm just saying she's gonna have to rebuild her audience again so that the people can know who she is and they can trust who she is and show and kind of prove to herself as well as her audience why they should continue thinking that she's the legend that she is.
Exactly.
In my opinion.
Put a couple jokes on Twitter, see if it, goes viral or something,
I don't know. What Gooch think?
Well, Gooch thinks that he wonders if Which Houston lasted water under longer? Whitney Houston or the city of Houston?
Oh, you petty Gooch.
You remember that? I was watching that show the other day. Corey was like, this nigga Gooch the Great sent me some shit. Like what was it? Which Houston survived longer underwater? Whitney Houston or Sid Houston?
Great shows, man.
You heard him. You was like, "Who's Goose the Great?" Now you know.
Yeah, man. I gotta, you know what? Here's the thing. I want to say because I love your podcast and I love you guys. So the call I just got was kind of someone was in a car accident and I'm headed to the hospital right now. So I'm gonna come back. If for who's listening, Goose the Great will be back. I will come back. I enjoyed the little segment I did right now. I would want to say thank you for having me. To both of you guys, man. I appreciate it, man. I really enjoy doing the show. Anytime you guys meet me, I'm there for you and got your back like scoliosis.
No problem with man. Just go take care of your friend, man.
Okay, yeah, Becky.
Go take care of your friend, man.
Say your goodbyes. Becky?
Oh, yeah. I was just saying, yeah, we'll definitely understand, man. It was good having you. Go take care of your family, man. Go take care of your friend.
Yeah, big dog. Handle your business.
And me and my dog, we always on Instagram clowning, so.
Yeah, you are.
Man. So I'm just going to be home, man, and go to the hospital, maybe. You know, I'm not going to really draw on some of these nurses while I'm up there, so
Oh, here he go. He just couldn't help himself.
Be careful, man.
All right, man. I love y'all, man. I'm out. Later.
All right, Gooch.
All right, bye.
Hey, that was that nigga Gooch the Great, man.
Gooch is just Gooch, man.
Fuck with him, man. That dude, hey, man, you just meet certain people and you get good vibes off of them, man. That's nigga Gooch, man. Shout out to Gooch the Great. Fucks with him.
Sometimes I just want to just text him and be like, bruh, do you ever shock yourself by some of the stuff that you say?
That's crazy. That's crazy. We are at about 2 hours and 11 minutes, so I think we can finish up the rest of these topics. We only got 2 more. What I want to do real quick, Becky, I actually have to take a quick break and get some water and a restroom. So can we reconvene at
Sure.
9:40?
Sure.
All right. St. Louis podcast, we'll be back in 1 second. We're going to put this little pussy-ass podcast on hold so we can handle some business. We'll holler back at y'all.
Oh, that's all. So is.
Yes, we sure is. We're going to build this wall. Yeah, man. We're back on the Socially Conscious St. Louis podcast. Had to take a little pussy-ass break there. Man. So, Rebecca, did you hear about Old Navy?
Yes, I did. I saw the video.
West Plains, Des Moines, Iowa, I think it is.
Yeah. And I saw the video.
Care to explain to people what happened with Old Navy?
Basically, this young man walked into Old Navy, and he had on a bubble blue coat that was gifted to him over the holidays. And for whatever reason, when he went to go check out with his items, the lady then asked him, "Oh, well, would you like to ring up this coat as well?" And when the young man proceeded to let her know, "Well, no, ma'am, I walked in with this coat belongs to me," et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The manager came up and stated that you have, basically, anytime that happens, you have to take the coat off, and they have to check whatever numbers on it to make sure that it was previously purchased. And even after checking, they still proceeded to try to make the young man pay for the coat. So when they called, I think it was the district manager, the manager called the district manager because the young man asked for the tapes to be pulled. They basically tried to treat the black guy as a criminal, and asked for the security tapes to be pulled. I can't remember if they called the police or not. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But either way, they were able to look at the security tape to see, in fact, this young man did walk in with this old Navy coat and did not ask for an apology. They did not give him an apology. The district manager would not get back on the phone with him to just basically give what I would say is basic customer service skills, which is, I'm sorry, sir, for the inconvenience. I do apologize about this. Not saying like, because, companies have to protect themselves, so they can't say things like, oh, well, this should have never happened, which technically it would have been a truth. Ethics, you should have told the truth. But none of that happened. District manager wouldn't talk to him, and then the manager at the store at the time, who was also white, decided to tell the black guy that he needed to leave the store and to stop recording them. And that was that. So.
Yeah. Well, I've been to Iowa, and it is...
I have too.
I'm
it's
not
pretty
sure.
Racist.
I'm
area
not
I
sure if there are any black people in Iowa, but I drove to Muscatine, Iowa. My grandfather had dementia, and he ended up driving down there. Just thought he was in like East St. Louis, Illinois. But yeah, I did not see no black people down there at all. I did meet, I think, one lady, this black lady, when I was working at Walmart years ago. She talked like a white girl, and I'm not saying like, white people talk this way or black people talk this way, but white people, especially when they got that kind of that valley thing going on. It was this black girl who, if you talk to her over the phone, you swear she's like, okay, Walmart, this is what we're going to do. And I'm like, where is this bitch from? I'm from Iowa. I was like, oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah, I used to get that all the time. People used to say I was the blackest white person they knew, I guess.
Your name is Rebecca, and you speak with good diction.
Apparently so.
Apparently so.
I can say this. I went to Des Moines, Iowa. Not Des Moines, that's a lie. I went to Denison, Iowa. And I can promise you, we were legit searching for black people. And we went there for a volleyball game. And the whole time we was in the van, like, we did not see one black person there. Iowa was so racist to the point where we literally could not go out anywhere because of our coaches thought that we were going to be attacked at some point. Went to a buffet after a game, and this white man, my homeboy, was like, he only had put like a few pieces, like 2 pieces of chicken, little bitty chicken party wings on his plate. So the white man stood behind him and said, "Don't you be eating up all the chicken now there, boy."
Burr?
Yeah, and I looked at him, I was like, Jamar, no. He old, come on. Jamar went, put his food on the table. My boy went back to the buffet line, grabbed the whole pan of chicken out the buffet line, went to the white people table. I went to go sit with him so he wouldn't be by himself, and sat right next to the white man with a glass of lemonade and dumped this chicken in his lemonade and was eating it. He was like, "You told me not to eat up all the chicken. Chicken tastes good with everything." And was sitting there eating it. And the white man felt so uncomfortable, he just got up and left. Like that. We laughed about that all weekend.
Hell no.
You told me not to eat that chicken? Chicken tastes good with everything. And then, I think what made the white man get up and leave was because Jamar took a drumstick and dumped it in the white man's water and started eating it. Oh, yeah, he wasn't playing. He was pissed. He was like, he wanted this white man to be his age so bad. because he wanted to fight him. But he was really an elderly white man. Like,
okay.
That was don't get me wrong, Iowa is it's the area that we was in was peaceful. It's very scenic. But it is racist. Even at the volleyball game, it was racist. Like, it was no black people around, and they was looking at us like, what is these niggas doing here? And we went there and killed that volleyball match.
Mm-hmm.
Killed that volleyball match.
You had to.
And this white girl, but see, the crazy part about it is the white girls was too busy trying to get up on the black guys. And we, as the black women, was protecting our black men. Like, no, you hoes ain't leaving here with no black baby this weekend. Like, that's just how our take was on it back then.
And that's how it should be.
They were really racist towards us. Like, this white girl sat next to me, and I guess she didn't realize she was sitting next to me, and then when she realized when she saw somebody black, she was just terrified. And I said, girl, ain't nobody gonna steal nothing from you. Matter of fact, you stink. Can you move? Thanks. Like, I mean, it was just bad. It was just bad.
True.
I don't miss those years.
Yeah.
So I understand what old boy went through.
That old Navy shut down. I'm not sure how long they were shut down, but it is currently shut down. And also,
whoa, they know.
Yeah, also H&M has been losing stocks and profits, and they actually closed like a bunch of stores in light of the other thing.
Oh wow, that's because the truth about it is all these major, and this is why I don't understand how black folks don't understand how important their dollar is. Mostly black folks shop from places like Old Navy and H&M, Victoria's Secret, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
If you stop spending your money at these places, it should not have to take that high level of prejudice or racism for you to realize that your dollar is that important.
That's true.
That's all I'm saying.
A couple shirts from Old Navy too. They were really cool.
Don't own
like
nothing
some Star
from Old
Wars. Only reason why I went is because my mother-in-law at the time and her kids, they was gonna go to the Old Navy out there, Clayton. So she's like, "Hey, you want to go to Old Navy?" Yeah, sure. We went out to Old Navy. I bought like a Star Wars, I think, or maybe that was the one at the Mills. Might have been. But anyways, that was only one time I ever really purchased anything from Old Navy because most of that stuff it's just not for me. Not for me. Yes. But I know we kind of touched on this last week, but are the social benefits of being raised up in the 90s, how do you think that benefits us?
I think it benefits us because I think we have an advantage over this generation now because this generation now is just they're overly stimulated. I think, you know what I mean? Like as far as internet and just music and it's just, everything is just, it's too much. You know what I mean? Like this generation is overly stimulated. I think being raised in the 90s, we had a lot of, I can honestly say this, even though my mama was crackhead, we still had Sunday dinner. You know what I mean? Like we still had Sunday dinner. And it wasn't a dinner where everybody was on their phones or looking online or had an iPad or a tablet or, you know what I mean? Like, so you still had parts of that whole type of family dynamic in a sense. Everything wasn't, everybody's always on the go. You know what I mean? Like, everything is so, I think, did we talk this last week? We might have. Everything wasn't so on the go, and so
we kind of touched on it, but we didn't have enough time to go in.
You know what? I was talking to my friend Jennifer about this, about how this generation doesn't have patience. This generation, they're in the place of everything they need instant gratification. That's what I'm looking for. This generation, they need instant gratification for everything. Everything got to be quick, fast, within a few minutes. anything longer than 2 minutes, doesn't hold their attention span. They got to move on. They get bored. You know what I mean? Or I think as far as being raised in the 90s, I feel like we have more of an advantage. I feel like not even just music, but just culturally speaking, we have more of an advantage. We really do. Because now everything is so overstimulated that you don't know which way to go, what to do, and why. I will say this. I'm glad that I was raised in a time where things weren't easily recorded as it is now. Can you imagine that in the 90s?
Man.
Like, things in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was 14 in the late 90s, like 98, 99. So, it was like I was a teenager then. So, it's kind of like one of those things where I can just think of some of the stuff that I've done, some of the stuff that I've seen, some of the stuff that I've said. Can you imagine if somebody being able to post it online?
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like, I just think all the way around, we definitely had the advantage. I wouldn't change being raised in the 90s. I would not change it.
Nope.
The music was better, the clothes was better. The food didn't kill you if you breathe it. We have all of the diseases that we got now. You know what I mean? All these man-made diseases and like I honestly think, right? That now they got Quercetin for herpes and allegedly no vaccine to get rid of it.
Got a monocyl herpes.
Right, man. Like, what do you think?
Danger! I know. Get on the phone. This nigga right here. Sing it. That nigga could not just speak softly and no bit. He another one of them DMX ass niggas. Yeah. Somewhat. But
yo, DMX was like that when he did "In Y'all Fix My Life." He talked like that for real.
But I think there are many benefits of being born in the 80s, raised in the 90s. First of all, we are the second generation into hip-hop. Like my uncle's generation, like him and all his friends, they were first generation because they're in like their late 40s, early 50s, so they came up with the boom bap. They were literally breastfed on old school, what we call old school music. They were literally breastfed on it. And from there, they produced hip hop. They produced like the boom bap era. Well, we were the ones who really took the hip hop to the next level. Took it globally, for real, for real. That's one. Two, you niggas don't know the struggle of not having cable. We didn't have cable until turn 12. And even then,
you had cable at 12?
At 12.
Congratulations.
12 or 14. And I remember because during this thing, because you know we used to always have the Saturday morning cartoons on Channel 11, which they have done away with Saturday morning cartoons on Channel 11. They have done away the abomination of getting rid of Saturday morning cartoons.
Animation domination
on Channel 11. The abomination.
I used to live for those cartoons on Saturday.
Nigga.
They had animation domination for hours on Saturday.
Nigga,
oh my God.
Let me tell you, I was at home on a Saturday some time ago, like past year and a half, and I was sitting at home in my apartment, and I got the converter box. I still don't have cable. I think it's a waste of money, but I had the converter box, and it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, cool, I'm gonna sit up. Now, mind you, I'm a grown ass man. I'm like, I'm gonna sit up and see what cartoons they got on. They had on some nature shows, and I think next weekend it was the same thing. I ended up going on YouTube, and this dude broke down and explained why there's no longer any Saturday morning cartoons. which I don't even remember why. But I was just like, what fuck? No. How are there no Saturday morning cartoons? How about you had Dragon Ball Z used to come on Saturdays. Mm-hmm. You had Street Sharks, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles, yep.
You had Freakazoid, I think Freakazoid I think used to come in on Saturdays. Mm-hmm. Big Fat Baby used to come in on Saturdays. Rainhead used to come on Saturdays, nigga. Sonic the Hedgehog used to come on Saturdays, nigga. What?
Power Rangers. We used to get Power Rangers every now and then.
All the good cartoons used to be on Saturdays, nigga. We used to wake up in the morning so we can watch cartoons from 7
you can watch cartoons. Until 7 till around 11 o'clock.
7 to 11. We used to watch cartoons. And
then from 11,
and then from 11 to about, I want to say about 2, used to turn on channel 12 and used to watch all the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Magilla Gorilla, Grape Ape, Droopy, Quick Draw McGraw, all them motherfuckers, all of them, the Flintstones, the Flintstones.
Yeah.
Like the Smurfs I think used to come on like channel 12. All the old cartoons from the 70s, Rocky and Bullwinkle used to come on channel 12, and that was our program on a Saturday if it was raining. This was pre-cable. If it was raining, ain't nobody coming out unless we going somewhere. We can't be outside because it's raining. Ain't nobody trying to do nothing. Yep. So we used to have to turn on channel 12, nigga. We had the cable box, the first cable box, nigga. The black cable box with the red numbers on it. You don't know about that. Y'all niggas don't know about that. That was before digital cable came out. That was the Charter black box with the red LED numbers.
See, we had the not we, but my sister's dad. They had the really small brown one with the red numbers that had 3 buttons on it, which was up, channel down, and power off.
Yep.
And everybody knew that channel 69, what channel that was. And you was not allowed to watch channel 69.
We ain't had no channel 69. That was wrong.
We did. Well, my sister's dad did. I don't think I got cable. I will be honest with you. I didn't get cable for the first time myself until I was 29. 28, 29.
For yourself?
Yep, but I didn't purchase cable. I was actually working for Charter, and they paid for my cable.
Of course.
But Betty Jean never got cable. We never had cable, not that I can remember, and my grandmother never had cable.
Nigga, so we had Working Trail, nigga. Nigga, we had Working Trail, nigga.
Yeah.
Nigga, we had the first Grand Theft Auto before it was a console game. Grand Theft Auto was a computer game. I feel that we are the best generation because I feel that we're right because my parents are actually the parents of the not civil rights generation, but they are the generation between civil rights and hip hop. Those are my parents. My parents are 61. So they're right between the civil rights generation and the hip hop generation. Like Brother Lawrence's mom, she was a part of the civil rights generation because she was an adult when Martin Luther King and Martin and all of that stuff was going on. She was an adult. Brother Lawrence, I think, was like 6 or 7 or something like that when Emmett Till got killed. So him, my father, my mother, they were still kind of kids, teenagers around that time there. And, I feel that our generation is the generation that really knows how to appreciate all of the utilities that we have access to now, because back in the day, we didn't have access to that. Like, we grew up in an era where there was no internet for the first fucking 15 years of your life. There was no internet. There was no such thing as an internet for us anyway. For us, there was no internet. We literally, we are the generation who literally grew up with technology. We were born without technology, and we grew up with technology. We had the internet, the dial-up internet, nigga, from AOL.
Bro.
Right, it take about an hour and a half to get connected to that internet, nigga. You'll be like, I'm gonna go fix me a sandwich. Y'all don't know about dial-up, nigga. You don't know about dial-up, nigga. I can fix me a whole sandwich and some more shit before the internet is done. That's what I used to do. I used to go to the computer, turn that motherfucker on, hit the internet dial-up, and while it's searching, I'm over here fixing me a sandwich and watching something on TV. There was no YouTube, nigga.
You couldn't use your phone because you had to use the internet, and unless you got to get the phone line.
Yes. It took your whole phone. Somebody would call, they would knock you off the internet. Or they couldn't get through. My mom used to complain all the time. Y'all on that internet? I can't get no call. Because we would be downloading stuff off of Napster. We would download music off of Napster. And then when Napster kind of played out, we went to iMesh. And when iMesh came out, that's when we figured out that we can download movies. That's when we was downloading like all the anime, Dragon Ball movies and shit from Japan and stuff from back in the day that was not out in America at the time. Then Kazaa came in. You know what I mean? So I feel that gives us an advantage because we know how to appreciate the technology and we know how to use it for what it's worth. Most of the time when I'm on YouTube, I'm not looking up no bullshit. I like different channels dealing with like cars like TFL Car and Motor Trend and stuff like that. I like that stuff. I watch stuff about guns and them just wrecking and destroying stuff. But a lot of times I'm listening to like Zoe or Tyreek, or I'm listening to somebody who has some type of information that I feel is beneficial towards me. I listen to our podcasts. No bullshit. I listen to our podcasts all the time, because I like to hear what we got to say. And I think we be talking about that real shit, man. So we're also the generation, we're like the new civil rights generation.
I can see that. Yeah.
We like the new civil rights generation. We're the generation who's saying we're not our ancestors. We're not our forefathers. We're not the people who you are used to doing all that bullshit. Because I feel like we're the generation who be like, we've had enough.
Yeah, I agree.
We've had enough. Not saying that there were not people who were constantly fighting. Because you got, like Dr. Clark, Dr. Anderson, Dr. Welsing, Dr. Diop. You know what I mean? There was plenty of African scholars who were putting in that work from the 60s, 80s, 90s. You know what I mean? And in the 90s, when we were kids, they had that surge of conscious rap. So we got a lot of that conscious rap, like the De La Soul, the Tribe, the Public Enemies, the NWA, which NWA wasn't super conscious, but still, So I feel like we're the ones who is breaking the mold. I just feel like that way. We are, I'm not gonna say the best generation, but I think we are old enough to remember our parents and the generation before us, but we're also young enough to kind of understand the new generation and the things that they got to go through and stuff like that. Because I feel like we the ones who are out here fighting, man. We the millennials. The millennials are the ones who out here kicking ass and taking names. And we not taking that bullshit that, people have been taking for generations. We not out here like that. And I don't know, maybe it's the technology. Maybe it's because we didn't have any technology at first. I mean, you know, we had like the Game Boy and the Game Gear, the Sega Game Gear, nigga. This is back in the day.
Atari, Game Boy, Atari, Game Boy, Sega Genesis, Dreamcast.
Yeah, we had the Dreamcast.
Nintendo, Super Nintendo.
Had computer games, like computer games.
Yeah.
When I was coming up, the best computer game was like Minesweeper and Wolfenstein. I used to love playing Wolfenstein on the computer. And the graphics are
What's that little
old
Galaxy
and they're
game?
horrible, huh?
What's that one Galaxy game where you used to drive and you used to shoot little things so you cannot hit it? I can't think of the name of it.
Talking about Galaga?
That might be it.
Yeah, Galaga came out the 80s, though. Galaga, Pac-Man, that was like a 70s, 80s thing back in the day. But we had like Virtual Fighter, man. That was before Tekken. Virtual Fighter was pre-Tekken, nigga. That's when we had arcades. They don't even have arcades anymore, nigga.
Hey,
we used to have an arcade.
This black man just opened one right around the corner from my house. It's called Sporting KC, which I live in Kansas. But it's open it's adults only.
For real?
It's an adults only. Yeah.
Nigga, I'm coming to Kansas. We going to play. Because I was just talking to Regis. Today. And Regis had posted about Marvel vs. Capcom 20 years ago. Marvel vs. Capcom 1 was released. And I was like, yeah, I remember that. That was dope. We used to go to the Tilt. And we used to play, like we used to Tilt at Northwest Plaza. That was when you used to have that quarter. You used to have that quarter, and you would put that quarter on the edge of the machine. And that quarter, man, you got next. And it might be 3 or 4 quarters on that motherfucker. You just slide that mug over when you lose. Boom. That was crazy,
man.
Game
comp. Yeah, man.
That was crazy. I remember Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was one of the most expensive PlayStation games ever. It was Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was such a fucking hit when it came out. You could not find it. This was pre-Amazon, nigga. This was long before there was an Amazon. This is when you had to go to places like Funko Land to try to find used games. And if anybody from St. Louis know about Funko Land, know them punk ass niggas used to gyp you out of anything that you would trade in.
Yeah, man.
You could trade in a brand new Super Nintendo, and them niggas will give you like $50 for that shit. You be like, hey, nigga, I paid $150 for the game system plus the games, nigga. They'll give you I give you $50. Man, anybody who know. Funko Land used to gyp the shit out of niggas, boy. They used to gyp niggas, and they shit was high. You try to go buy a used system, they want damn near full price for a used system. But then was back in the day.
A new system, 250. They told some it's on sale for $249.99.
$250. Like
man,
anytime you would go to a used game shop. Anytime you would go to a used game shop, everybody was looking for that Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Everybody was looking for that joint. And you would go into the store, you'd be like, hey, you got Marvel vs. Capcom 2? They might have one. And how much is it? Oh, it's like $100-something. You'd be like $100-something. That's because when it came out, it was such a hit, they couldn't keep it in the stores long enough. And that was the game that everybody wanted. I wanted it so bad. To this day, I want it. Regis was just saying, he was like, if I could find, he's like, PlayStation and Xbox should release Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2 and X-Men vs. Street Fighter on the game system and have online play so you can verse each other. I was like, yes, they should. You know, we grew up with the technology. Now you can Wi-Fi, you can battle niggas over Wi-Fi. There was no such thing as Wi-Fi then. We had link cables, nigga. Me and my homeboy Jeff, shout out to Jeff Dickens. That's my dude. That's my dude. That was my best friend for years and years and years. We kind of grew apart. We still cool, but you know, just life takes you in different directions. Yeah. And that's fine. That's still my dude. Shout out to Jeff, man. Me and him used to battle it out every day, nigga. Every day. Nigga, I got that Pokemon Yellow, nigga. I got the Pokemon Yellow with the limited edition yellow color Game Boy with the Pokemon shit around the screen, nigga. I was like, oh, I got the Pokemon Yellow. Nigga, I was so happy. Oh my God, I was so happy because we were some badass kids, though. I'm not gonna lie. I know we gotta kind of necessarily wrap this up. We going on 2:44. Actually, we going on 2:45, actually. I guess we'll wrap it up in 3 hours. This is gonna be a long show, man. But you know, going down nostalgia road.
Yeah, nigga, man.
Me and my brother opened up all the presents before Christmas, like a week before Christmas. Just to see what we had. And I found out that my mama bought me that, it came with the Game Boy Edition, limited edition, yellow Game Boy with the Pokemon around the screen and Game Boy Yellow. And my mom bought me a sync cable. So I actually played it the whole week before Christmas, and the batteries died on Christmas. And so I played it in a way. She was like, Mom's like, oh, you need some more batteries? I'm like, yeah, they don't make batteries like they used to. Not knowing that I played with the motherfucker for a whole week and ran down the batteries. Speaking of batteries, nigga, you know, remember you used to take them batteries, they used to be dead, you used to put them in the freezer for about a day.
Yes, sir.
Get that juice back in there and put them back in the remote.
Yeah,
for another week.
Yes, sir, I remember that, yeah.
Nigga, me and Jeff used to battle it out every day off the school bus, nigga. We used to get off the school bus, we would go to his house, we would hook up the sync cables, and we'd be straight battling each other, having Pokemon battles, nigga. We used to play Ghetto Uno on his mama's deck. It'd be like me, him, maybe my brother, maybe Lil Dave, maybe Ryan. And we'd be sick because his mom really didn't like people in her house like that. So if she did let us in the house, it might be like 1 or 2, but otherwise we got to be outside. So we used to play Uno, what we call Ghetto Uno. And basically the premise of it is whoever loses has like 10 seconds to run as fast as far as you can. And after 10 seconds, we're going to chase you down and we're going to beat your ass, and then you're going to sit down for another game. That's how we played it. Right. You know, we was counting. We didn't know shit about no ghetto, but it was fun, though. You know, that was when I had a boom box, nigga. I had a boom box.
I remember the boom box. I had one of them.
With the CD player. It was one of these, it was tight, too. It had like two subwoofers on the side. And then it had like 2 like little regular speakers in the front. It had like a cassette tape. You know, this is when niggas still had cassettes. And it had a little CD player on the top. It had a little bass boost. That was when that bass boost first came out. Boy, I got that radio with that bass boost, nigga. That was that shit. And I used to
your parents loved you. I had the boom box with the tape deck that was broke off the front.
And my brother, my punk ass brother, shout out to Sean, I love you, bro, but you a punk ass. You a punk ass for stealing my radio. This is what this nigga used to do. This nigga used to steal my radio, and then he would steal my Andre 3000 Love Below CD. And then I'd be looking for it, and I'd be mad. I'd be like, where is my stuff? I go down to Jeff's house, and he out there playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And got the radio with the Andre 3000 singing it. Hey, man, give me my shit. I'm finna wrap this shit. Give me my shit. My brother was notorious for taking my stuff. I still love him, though. Shout out my brother. You know, I seen him this past weekend for the dinner that my mother took me out to Friday. Seen him and seen Tiffany. And it was actually halfway decent. You know, normally family events used to get me PO'd. That's another story, another topic for another day. It wasn't as bad. I was a little PO'd, but not as bad as I normally do. because I guess Tiffany had some stuff going on, and then my brother's like, we ready to order, and this nigga just now calling his wife, hey, what do you want, babe? What do you want? Huh? What do you want, honey? Da da da. And I just feel like you already know that's your wife. You kind of already know about what she likes. We've been to 54th Street before, so if you knew she was going to be that late, you kind of should have took time ahead of time to call her and ask her what she wanted.
Or just order for her. That's what I typically do for Regis.
I mean, he did, but he asked her what she wanted, and the waitress is standing there, and we've ordered, and this nigga asked Tiffany what she wanted instead of taking the initiative and asking her ahead of time. That way, the waitress can go on about her business. But other than that, it was all right. You know, it wasn't as bad as it normally is as far as family gatherings is concerned. Mm-hmm. But it was cool, nonetheless. Yeah, I think the 90s, we the best generation, man. We was taking over for the 99 and 2000. We was, we knew Birdman when Birdman was a Crip.
Yeah.
Look at them first couple old Cash Money videos, nigga. Birdman was a Crip.
Mm-hmm.
Then the nigga changed to Blood, but you know.
I ain't know you could just swap games like that.
When you pay them boys for them tithes, I guess you can. Pay them boys. But yeah, man, I think the 90s, man, it was just a great time. You know, we got in right ground floor as technology started to boom. So we grew up with Windows 95 and Windows 98 and Windows 2000. The progression. Windows 8, 9, 7, you know. Windows 2000 plus, Windows XP. You know, we remember them old Macintoshes. We used to have them old. That was when they were called Macintosh computers. They called Macintosh back in the day. You know what I mean? I just feel like because we didn't necessarily have technology when we were coming up, but about the 2000s, the 98s, the 2000s, when the technology kind of started to speed up, we were privileged to be on the front line of that. So it's just like, you know, we know technology. You know, we use it to our advantage. And we're old enough to be able to sift through the bullshit that's online. There's a whole lot of stuff online, but there's a whole lot of bullshit too. How many times Jackie Chan done died since the internet came out? At least about 25. You'd be like, damn, that's so sad. And then you look at it, you like, Jackie Chan ain't dead. He filmed a movie in Hong Kong.
I can't count how many times they killed Jackie Chan.
True. And the internet brought us together. The internet brought the world together. I've met some very interesting people who are my Facebook friends who are from Africa, who I've never met. I've met some interesting people from other states who are like-minded individuals who I've never met. So, you know, the internet has brought us together. And I think we, as a generation, know how to use the internet for what it's intended for. It's a tool. Sure, we like to play games, and we like the 2Ks and the Maddens and, you know, all of the other stuff that, you know, you like to play, the online stuff, the Call of Duty. Sure, we like that. But, you know, we also know how to use the internet for other than some bullshit. You know, we actually know how to read. Mm-hmm. I know Regis is one of those people who reads. He's always posting articles and stuff on Facebook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my take. I'm pretty sure I could keep going in depth and going down memory lane. Like, right, I was just going to say. Who was that, Rolls Royce? Or was it Minnie Riperton?
I can't remember.
Back down memory lane. I think it's Minnie Riperton.
What's that? Who's that? Come on. Erykah Badu. Back in the day when things were cool.
Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, hey. Boom, boom, boom. We used to roll on Vogues and Trues. Yeah, it's Minnie Riperton. It's Minnie Riperton. Back down memory lane. You know, Minnie Riperton had 5-octave voice.
Mm-hmm.
Minnie Riperton was dope.
Okay, I want to say this was Minnie Riperton, the lady who used to make those very raunchy songs. For what, I don't know what stage you was going through in your life, but it was always me on the road, and you'll be like, I'm on the phone talking to you, and you'll be like, hey man, did you hear this song called F You or something like that? And I'm like, David, I don't know what you're talking about. And then you was, I had to get off the phone. Man, it was a black woman. She had really full lips. She was on episode of Martin once. Dang, I can't think of this lady's name.
Oh, you're talking about, hold up. Don't say nothing. I got a name. I
don't know what stage you
Millie
was
Jackson.
In your life.
Millie Jackson.
There you go, her.
Millie Jackson.
I don't know what stage you was going through. You was always listening to this chick this summer. And I'm like, okay. And like, it just came out the blue. You was like, man, you got to hear this. You got to hear this.
She is the reason kind of why Dave Chappelle did that thing with the choir on the first season. When
oh, yeah.
Climbing up the ladder and you feel something splatter.
Diarrhea.
Right. That's where Yo Gotti got that song from. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm ahead and say you. And that's where Yo Gotti got it from. He got it from Millie Jackson. She had a song. It's actually called The Symphony. And it's fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck. Millie Jackson was raw. She was raunchy. She was one of those women who owned herself in her entirety back in like the 70s and the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So she was basically, she wanted to tell the real. She didn't want to be like, because they wanted her to be like Gladys Knight. I watched her Unsung because she's like one of those unsung people. The label actually wanted to be her like Gladys Knight. She, like her first single was like, my man is a good man. My man is a strong man, and he's mine, all mine. She was like, imagine how that sounds in conversation. Well, my man is a good man, and my man is a sweet man, and my man is the best man ever, and he's mine, all mine, all mine. You know, so she wasn't down with that. She wasn't down with that at all. She just wanted to do what she wanted to do. And Millie Jackson, you was like, you played her records after dark. Like the red, you remember, well, you probably don't remember, but your Betty Jean will remember the old days when you had them Red Fox albums, them Richard Pryor albums.
Yeah, you could not play those in broad daylight. You just could not.
No, they would wait till the kids go to sleep, till they break out.
Mm-hmm.
When the kids go to sleep and the niggas start breaking out the Hennessy, that's when they put on the Richard Pryor, the Red Fox, the Millie Jackson. Millie Jackson's one of those people who you don't necessarily listen to during the day because she's just like so raunchy. One of her album covers is called Back to the Shit. And she's literally sitting on a toilet with this long, like, evening gown on, this long, fluffy evening gown. And she's literally sitting on a toilet, and the album cover is called Back to the Shit. You know, and she didn't about her money. Like, she would fight man, woman. She wouldn't care. But she's got a great song called Child of God. It's a fantastic song called Child of God. And she has some very good questions. Like one of the lyrics, she says, it's like, she's like, I know some folk who go to church on Sunday, but then turn right back around and wear shit on Monday. It's hard to believe that you a child of God. Y'all go check that out. Millie Jackson's called Child of God. It's very deep. But yeah, man, she one of those people, and she's influenced, you know, popular culture, whether you know it or not. But she's just one of those people who doesn't get mentioned. She doesn't really get airplay, and if she did, it was at like 2 o'clock in the morning when, you know, only adults were supposed to be up. So that's just one of those things. But bucking their minds, Becky. trying to get you a job with white
I
man?
had
You just had something in your eye. You wasn't auditioning, trying to work on your coon eyes.
Please. I cannot be a coon. I don't have the energy to be a coon.
I know you don't. And that's why
I don't have the energy, nor I don't have the skill to be a coon.
Right.
I just don't have the determination and drive it takes to be a coon. I just can't do it.
That's real.
I would hate myself.
That's real. Well, Rebecca, this is the longest podcast that we have had to date. We're doing good. We're actually right under 3 hours, and by the time we finish this, it'll probably be like 3:01-ish. So
I don't know why mine say 3:05:50.
Because that's how long you've been on the phone, but I've only been recording for that long because we was trying to get the stuff together.
Okay.
Right. So, man, I think we had a great episode, man. Episode 11, man. Shout out to Gooch the Great. Fucks with him, man. He had to go handle his business with his family. We definitely going to have him back on because he be talking that shit. And, I mean, to be a rich nigga, he a humble dude, and I can fuck with that, man, because you ain't never forget about where you came from. I can fuck with people like that. If you got that bag, if you got the money, and you ain't never forgot what you came from, if you still, humble, you cool. I think that's where Monique got it lost, that she got the big head, and she forgot the people who spent their hard-earned dollars to put her in the place that she's in. So what that means... Yes.
Just real quick, Gooch made this comment on his page. I don't know if you saw it. He had a picture of his nephew standing outside his car. And he said my nephew got in trouble for calling women bitches.
Yeah, I seen that.
And then he get to spend all day with his uncle. Listen to his uncle call women bitches.
Yeah. That's real.
But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, man, this has been a good one.
It has been a good one, man. This is the episode 11 of the Socially Conscious St. Louis podcast, a.k.a. the Obamacare of Podcasts. It's the podcast for the working man, the podcast for the everyday people, man. We talk that shit, but we also drop them knowledge and them facts, and we bring receipts to the party. I love a receipt party.
Show right.
I'm your host, your benefactor, your deity. I am the Incredible Hulk. I am King David. Right, anyways. Don't be bucking your eyes at me, nigga. That's you a god, you bullshitting. I am a god, nigga, because his spirit lives within me. I am a god. Yes, but I say, man, it's been a great episode. You can reach me on Instagram at The Overweight Lover. That's the letter D, OVRWEIGHTLVR. You can also reach me on Facebook at Dave Landrum, King David in the parentheses there. Also, check out my More Lawns business page. That's More Lawns St. Louis, MOOR Lawns ST Louis. That's More Lawns St. Louis on Instagram and Facebook. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Oh, I did talk to Phoenix. He said he does think the Tyler Perry is a coon. He hasn't gone in depth yet. Forgot to mention that. He does think Tyler Perry is a coon. I would love
to have Phoenix on one of the episodes.
Yeah, man. I don't know whether
maybe.
I think he's a writer or something. He'd be busy. But one thing he did ask me to do a in-depth review on Precious. So I guess maybe next Sunday we could talk about Precious. It's on YouTube.
I had the movie here too.
Yeah, I think I had the movie on DVD, but after a while I became, I don't want to say I became so conscious, but I became conscious of what the movie really represents. Yeah, this is some bullshit. And I think I threw it away because I couldn't find it at the house. But I promised Phoenix that I would do that. So let's put that on this for next week.
Cool, man.
All right, so Rebecca R. Quarles, author of the Running Away from God series 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the process. How can the people reach you?
You reach me at RAFG at Facebook or Arthur R. Quarles. I'm going to have to change that because I'm having a hard time saying my own last name.
Arthur
or you
R.
can reach me on
Quarles.
Instagram at 15LadyQ1502. On Instagram also I do a blog post now at SCIdeaFirestarter.wordpress.com. My screen name for that is Lady Q1502 as well.
You didn't tell me you was doing what you call it?
Not a podcast, but a blog.
Right,
blog
podcast. I mean, not a blogcast. You didn't tell me you was on a blogcast, nigga.
Yeah, I'm doing well. I literally just submitted she asked me this weekend, my friend Jennifer, shout out to Jennifer Harris at J Salon Harris. She asked me this coming up this past week, and we were talking about some stuff, and she wanted me to be a co-contributor on her blog. So I started that, submitted my first blog post today that is entitled Self-Love. That is our theme for the month. Self-love.
Self-love. Awesome. Rest in power to the ancestor Dennis Edwards. Dennis was lead singer of the Temptations for a number of years. He replaced David Ruffin as lead singer, and he recently died a few days ago. So rest in power to Brother Edwards.
Yeah.
We love you, brother. We appreciate all of the musical contributions that you gave us.
Yes, sir.
May your spirit join the ancestors and continue to watch over us. So, that's all I got to say, Becky. You have anything?
No, sir. That is all.
All right. Well, we are the Obamacare of Podcasts, and we're signing out of this. Bye, y'all.
All right,
we'll see you next
time.
week. Peace. Love and chicken grease.